Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Design Review Committee on Thursday, August 21st, 2025. I now call the meeting to order at 5:02 p.m. Lisa, can you begin with the roll call?
Member Melissa Bates.
Present.
Member Getz.
Here.
Member Johnson.
Here.
Vice Chair Boyd.
Here.
Chair Esther Jacobson Bates.
Here. Okay, and then we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Jennifer, and if you'd
Please
stand as-
rise. I
pledge allegiance to the flag Thank you, Jennifer. Okay, can I have a motion to approve the order of the agenda as presented?
I so move.
Do I have a second?
second.
Okay, having heard a motion and a second to approve the order of the agenda, Lisa, another roll call vote, please.
Member Melissa Bates.
Approve.
Member Getz.
Approve.
Member Johnson.
Approved.
Vice Chair Boyd.
Approve.
Chair Esther Jacobson Bates.
Approved. I see we're having some technical problems in the room. Do we need to pause for a moment? Looks like we're back on. Just for our massive viewing audience. Okay. All right, we're going to move on to consent items. Elisa, please introduce the item.
Items on consent are typically routine and will be approved in one motion. The chair will call on anyone wishing to address the committee on any consent item on the agenda, which has not been pulled by the committee for discussion. Each speaker will be permitted to speak only once, and comments will be limited to a total of 3 minutes.
Okay, we're going to start with in-person public comments first. Any public comments on the consent agenda? Okay, anybody on Zoom? Does not appear that way. Any committee members have an item that you would like to pull? All right, if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent items.
I
I
move.
so move.
Second?
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to approve the consent items. Lisa, would you take a roll call vote, please?
Member Melissa Bates.
Approve.
Member Getz.
Approved.
Member Johnson.
Approved.
Vice Chair Boyd.
Approve.
Chair Esther Jacobson Bates.
Approved. And for those of you in the room, that means not only have we approved the minutes and our major development projects list, but we've also approved the sign permits for 1697 Copenhagen, 1693 Mission, 2 suites. So we're complete there. Thank you. Bye-bye. So now we're going to move on to public communications for non-agenda items. Lisa, introduction, please.
This section is intended to provide members of the public with the opportunity to address the committee on items not on the agenda. This section is limited to 30 minutes. Each speaker will be afforded 3 minutes and may speak only once. State law does not allow the committee to discuss or act on issues not on the agenda except to briefly respond or ask staff to follow up on such items.
All right, so now we're going to start with in-person public comments first. I believe I see a speaker. Come on up and introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Brian. Is this about the sign ordinance?
Not
Would that be
yet.
on the agenda?
Yes,
Got it.
yeah. We're doing colors and then that. And nobody else in the room? Anybody on Zoom who'd like to speak on items not on the agenda? Okay, as I don't see anybody there, we're going to go ahead and close public comment at this time, and I'll bring the item back to the committee. Oh, excuse me. We're going to close public comments, and we're going to move on to 4A. Staff report, please.
All right, discussion and direction on color palette for design handbook for the Village Design District DD1. I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint. Good. All right. All right, so this presentation will probably look familiar. We brought this to the Design Review Committee in July. June, sorry. And then with direction from the Design Review Committee, we did get the color chips, assembled them into books for you to review. So we're going to be going through those colors tonight. Same presentation that we did last time, just kind of going through them, marking what you guys do and don't want. So we presented findings in May. We're going to be establishing authentic Danish and aesthetic standards we decided to eliminate neon colors and the bright synthetic hues. So again, our focus is going to be on the facades and color groups for that, and then continue the elimination for colors. And then we'll just go one by one with the order that you guys have in your booklets, and I'll make notes on my own page for that.
Okay, thank you, Lisa, for the introduction. I also wanted to just kind of circle back and say how helpful it has been also having the public input at the events in the park and all, because that pretty much aligns with a lot of our discussion right here. So I concur with Lisa as to how to do this. My thought was that we just go, as you said, one by one, and we just quickly take a poll and see how many of us are yes and no, move through the entire color palette rather quickly, and then come back through if necessary, if we find that we've winnowed it down too far, or probably more likely left, 12 blues and we only need 8 or something. So with that in mind, should we go ahead? I am going to, Lisa, what do you recommend? Do you want me to call out the colors and we'll just say yes, yes, no, yes kind of thing?
Yeah, we'll have you take the lead on that, and
Okay.
then, make sure everybody gets their input, and then
Yeah.
have you.
I do have a question, though. Is
Absolutely.
there amount of colors you want per?
I think at
Like yellow,
this
red.
point, it's maybe too soon to say.
Okay.
So I think we kind of just need to
Go through it.
make our way through, and I literally wrote it like this, and I'm ready to go, and I think we'll just go ahead and, we'll go this way.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So you want it individual
Yep.
votes instead of show of hands, or?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
just say yes, yes, no, yes, and we'll start.
We're starting with lemon meringue here on the
Yep.
top left corner.
And we'll start with Melissa for the lemon meringue. We'll start with Jennifer for the icy lemonade. We'll just zigzag back and forth. How's that?
Great.
Or is that too confusing? You don't need to know who's doing what, right?
No.
Okay.
As long as at the end it's kind of clean and you tell me yes,
Yes.
no, yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. So lemon meringue, Melissa.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
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 Icy lemonade, Jennifer. Or we can just start with Melissa every time. You want to just do that? Okay, Melissa, icy
Yeah.
lemonade.
yes,
No.
Yes.
No.
3-2.
Optimistic yellow.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Was that 5?
That was
5
a
yeses?
unanimous.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 yes on that one. Lively yellow, Melissa.
No.
no,
No.
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 5 no. Lemon twist, Melissa.
No.
no,
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Cheerful.
No.
no,
No.
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 Goldfinch.
No.
no,
No.
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 This is kind of amusing. June day.
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
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 Afternoon.
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. If they skipped me, sorry. Overjoy.
Yes.
yes,
No.
Yes.
No.
And so that's 3-2. B.
Yes.
yes,
No.
Yes.
No.
3-2. Brittle brush.
No.
Bush.
yes,
No.
Yes.
No.
So that's
3 no's.
2 yes, 3 no's.
So just a quick pause. So what I suggest is as you go through this, what we're doing is we're doing a tally, and we'll bring back the ones
Yes.
that didn't have, that will require some discussion.
Correct.
All right. Just want to make sure.
Yeah. Thank you. And I'm counting on Lisa because I'm making very bad notes. Goldenrod. Melissa?
Yes.
No.
No.
Nope.
No.
Anjou Pear?
No.
Yes.
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 Ceremonial Gold?
No.
Yes.
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 This is very interesting. Sunflower?
Sunflower. No.
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 Yes.
No.
Marigold?
No.
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 Nope.
No.
Okay. Curry?
No.
No.
No. That was me.
That was you? Okay. That's
No, I mean, yeah.
No.
Okay. Rockwood Amber?
Yes.
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 Gallant Gold?
No.
Yes.
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 That completes page 1. Page 31. Now we're going to go on in our packet to page 32 to the oranges and reds, which start with grays.
Oh, geez.
Okay,
Hang on. That's not in our book. Hang on.
Oh,
In the
Yeah.
book, it's individual white.
yes, it begins with individual white.
Oh, it does.
Sorry.
Oh.
Yes, you're
Oh,
correct.
okay. All right.
Yeah, sorry. Individual white. Melissa, are you okay continuing the charge? Or do
Yes.
you want to switch?
Yes and yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes to the individual white.
No.
No.
Yes.
Chase Mauve. Melissa.
Yes.
No.
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 Polished concrete.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Impressive ivory.
Yes.
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 Smoky salmon.
Yes.
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 No.
No.
Rose tan.
Yes.
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 Rachel pink.
No.
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 Inventive orange.
No.
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 Fame orange.
Yes.
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 Sunset.
No.
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 Yes.
No.
Harvest gold.
Like my mom's refrigerator. Yes.
That's why I like it.
Yes.
You said yes? Yes.
Yes. Harvest gold.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Oak Creek.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Cavern clay.
No.
Yes.
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 Husky orange.
No.
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 Red scent.
Yes.
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 Carly's rose.
Yes.
No.
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 Emotional whatever.
Emotional.
Southwest. No. Emotional.
Did you?
I said no.
No, and no for me too.
No.
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 Antique red.
Yes.
Yes.
I forgot to mark this one. I think it was a no. No.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Flower pot.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
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 Cajun red.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
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 Page 33. There's no wrong way to vote. Yeah. Yes. In particular, I think the 3 twos. Snowdrop is the next one in the blues.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No.
I'm going to say no.
Yes.
Sky high.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Glimmer.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes.
Kingston.
Yes.
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 No.
Yes.
Blue horizon.
Yes.
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 Bravo blue.
Yes.
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 Soar.
No.
Yes.
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 Balmy.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Icy.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes.
Celestial.
Pretty.
No.
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes.
Respite.
Yes.
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 Regale blue.
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes.
No.
Sorry, I'm making notes. Searching blue.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
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 Pool house.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
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 Bathe blue.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
No.
Cloudless.
No.
Yes.
No.
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 Little boy blue.
Yes.
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 Open air.
Yes.
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 Jet. I think it's supposed to be stream, but
Jet stream.
jet stream. Okay, that one.
Yes for me.
Yes.
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 Raindrop.
Yes.
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 Sorry. Yes.
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 Aqua fria.
Yes.
Agua fria.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Ebb tide.
It's pretty.
No.
No.
Yes.
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 Okay. 2/3 of the way. Blues and greens, beginning with rest assured.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Powder blue.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Yes.
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 Bluebird feather.
No.
No.
Yes.
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 That was 3-2, right? Aquitaine.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
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 A gentle aquamarine.
No.
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 Reflecting pool.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
No.
Okay, 2-3. A rivulet.
No.
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 Cloudburst.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
No.
Lakeshore.
Yes.
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 Cruising.
No.
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 Great Falls.
No.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Teal stencil.
Yes.
Yes.
Love.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay, 3-2. Slow green.
Yes.
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 Quietude.
Yes.
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 Festoon aqua.
Yes.
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 Fresh eucalyptus.
Yes.
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 Sky, a blue sky.
Yes.
No.
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 Good.
Jocular green.
No.
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 Easy green.
Yes.
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 Vegan.
No.
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 Mescaline green.
Yes.
No.
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 Yes.
Parisian patina.
Yes.
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 Julep.
No.
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 Nope.
No.
Okay, on to page 35, and that starts with or continues with the greens, jargon, jade.
No.
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 Grand View, which I might mention is where the founders of Solvang went to
Came
college
from,
and
that's-
met.
yes,
Or met
correct.
teaching there. They didn't go there. So, Grand View,
Yes.
No.
yes,
Yes.
Yes.
and not because of the name. Garden Grove,
No.
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 Kendall Green,
No.
No.
yes.
I like that. Yes.
Yes.
Leapfrog,
No.
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 Inland.
Yes.
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 Alexandrite.
No.
Yes.
No.
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 That's fine.
And no.
Kilkenny.
No.
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 Paradise.
No.
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 Nope.
No.
And then we're going to complete this with the whites and grays. Ultra white.
No.
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes.
High reflective white.
No.
Yes.
No.
I'm just seeing how bright it is.
You can use this too if you remember
It's-
we've got, because this is an exterior color.
They look very similar to the ultra white, don't they?
Quite different outside, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I looked at them all out in the sun
Did
and
you?
then out not in the sun.
And that was really white.
Yes.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
No.
but- yeah.
Yes.
Okay, where were we? We were on highly reflective white, and that was a,
We're on white snow now.
yeah, but that was a 2-3, I think, right? Okay.
Right.
White snow.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Green glimpse.
Yes.
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 Rain song.
Yes.
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 Like a blue. Yes.
Yes.
Solstice.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Sea spray.
No.
Yes.
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 Green. Greenish white. Yes.
Yes.
It's 4-1. Zircon.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Wait,
Yes.
wait a minute. I've changed it. This is all, please, for zircon.
We're going to start zircon again.
Okay.
Melissa?
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Argos.
Yes.
No.
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 Yes.
Samovar silver.
Yes.
No.
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 Yes.
Mineral deposit.
No.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay, 2, 3. Unusual gray.
No.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Utterly beige.
Yes.
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 Westchester gray.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got our first tally through, and I think what we need to consider, and please chime in if you have other thoughts, is our number of selections within our palette. And some of them where I was kind of like the lone no, it wasn't because I disliked it, it was because there were too many in that field, and I felt that one was the least desirable. Just kind of explain where I was on some of that. And some of you may have had the same reasoning behind yours. So let's kind of start now with the color pages. So what if we just start with yellow? And I wasn't catching this as well to start with. So can you tell us which ones we all agree yes on? Or do you want to all the ones we're
Well,
Xing out?
so
the ones
I
we
s-
were unanimous on.
What I did was circle the ones to come back to that
Okay.
were a 3-2.
Right.
In the beginning, I went a little, if it was mixed, I just circled it.
Okay,
So I
that's
can
fine.
read those off if you want.
Yes, because
So-
I started doing it, but we were so fast I wasn't on
Same.
to start with.
I kind of did that on the second or
Okay,
third page.
so sorry for our stumbling start here.
But I can read you what I have, and then we can go
Yes,
through it that way.
let's do that.
These are 3-2 approved?
No,
Either
well,
way.
it depends.
If it was,
Or 2-3.
yeah, if it was mixed
Yeah.
at all. So I'll keep them in order on your booklet if
Yes.
it's easier to reference on
Yes.
the page in the agenda.
And I don't think we'll need
I
to do
have-
this with all the others,
Yeah.
but let's start with just the yellow
Okay.
page. So lemon and meringue was,
So that was a yes.
from everybody. Okay, circle. Icy
Icy
lemonade.
lemonade is one to come back and discuss.
Okay, and was it 3-2 or 2-3?
I don't,
Okay.
I didn't mark that down.
All right, optimistic yellow was a yes.
Wait a minute,
What?
I lost track here. What are we
So-
doing again?
These are what was selected. So
are ones that are
we're
selected,
kind of
so-
just going over all of them, Rich, on the yellow page.
So the first one, lemon meringue is good.
And
Icy
optimistic,
lemonade,
and optimistic yellow is good.
Icy lemonade is good. Optimistic yellow is good.
No,
So
coming back to that.
I think to keep it clean, just
Yes.
go back through the ones that were 3-2s, and
Yeah.
I can read off what those were.
Well, the reason I'm saying that, because I feel like we need to know which ones are now out. When we look at this,
Can
we'll
we do
know.
it that way? Just say, all right, these are the ones that are gone.
Yeah, so let's just start with,
Narrow it down,
and then the ones that come back.
yeah.
I'm sorry to be difficult here, and I
Lisa,
have it.
just tell us which ones are gone.
Which ones are gone?
Yeah.
Okay. So lively yellow, lemon twist, cheerful, goldfinch, goldenrod, sunflower, marigold, curry, and then on to oranges and reds.
Let's just stop there.
Okay.
Let's do the first page there, because that's kind of its own color palette. Then I show that we had 4-1 yes for Anjou pear and 4-1 yes for ceremonial gold. So I think that we should just count them in at a 4-1. That's in row 4, just to make you confused. On the top row, we have lemon meringue, yes. Optimistic yellow, yes. We're thinking about icy lemonade. June Day was that's the one I didn't get, Lisa. Did you get that? Second row, the far right.
I have that as a yes.
Okay, so that's a yes. Then going down, afternoon was a yes. And Overjoy and B, were they split as well as,
So at the top, I have icy lemonade circled to come back to.
okay?
What do you guys, I think if we go in order that way.
Okay, all right. So we have
I
our
lost
lights
again. Our Overjoy and B.
we're going to come back to.
Yeah, we'll go in order.
So I really recommend you use the lights here and put them on the daylight if you're going to look at it and make a decision here, because it makes a big difference. So looking at the number of the kind of light yellows that we have is now when we come into it. So you can see icy lemonade here. All right, let's go down the row again and do one more vote of icy lemonade. Okay? Do you want to start? Are you comfortable doing that again?
Yes for icy lemonade.
Yes.
No.
No.
Okay, so we've got a 3-2. So now with this one, I'm looking at the number of choices that we have in the light yellow, and we have more kind of in that tone as we, not really. Looking at it being the organic color. So do we want to make a decision now on this? We kind of need to
I
do
personally
that.
don't see any problem with giving the potential builders as many colors as we can agree on. Why would we unnecessarily limit them?
I'm on the other side of it to have a kind of defined palette, and then they're going to deviate from that and come to us with things that are in the family. Do you see it working that way, staff? Lisa, what do you see? Do you feel like they're going to be locked in?
So they will have the option to come to DRC if there are colors outside of what's already approved.
And they'll be coming to us even if they're choosing colors that are approved, because they still have to bring it in front of us because it's a combination of colors. It's not just one.
I mean, yeah, we'll still be coming to DRC.
Yeah.
So they can ask for that as an exception outside of what the approved colors.
Yeah, they may not have a consent agenda item, but that doesn't mean that they can't do it. And I'm sure that there will be exceptions for sure that are coming through, or people asking for exceptions.
Doesn't it make the system easier if we've already approved a color?
Yeah, and that was going to be my question. Is more better or is less better?
That's up to you guys.
Okay.
I mean, giving them the options, but that's the idea here, is to kind of break it down, and it can be overwhelming if there's too many choices for them.
Yeah.
So, and again, they can ask for that exception if they want to come back.
It's like, I think,
on a color, let's include it in there, give them as many approved options as we can. It'll help the discussion way down the line. We won't have to have discussion so much. If somebody comes in and says, I'm using a color that was approved by the committee, is in the book, decision's done.
I feel like icy lemonade is a pleasing color. Some of the ones that we eliminated were what I would call louder, more, just, they're going to be harder to blend in amongst other buildings. I think icy lemonade is just a, soft.
my parents' house in the 1950s. Yeah. And I don't think it's bad. So I think we're having that kind of philosophical discussion now because this is going to drive the rest of our decision-making through the meeting. Okay, so we're a 3-2 on icy lemonade, so we're going to go ahead and add that to the palette.
Right.
Then we come down to Overjoy on the third line. Do we have a number on that one
I didn't get a number, but it is circled because it was 3-2.
to bring back? Okay,
Either
so we're
way.
going to real quickly do that again. So Overjoy, and we don't have to go in order. My thought was no, so I can start, but that doesn't mean,
I'm a yes.
okay.
I'm a no.
No, no.
Okay, so Overjoy is a no. And B, same thing we're going to do with B. B, I'm a no.
Yes for me.
No.
No.
Okay. And a brittle bush was already only 2 yeses, so that's out. Goldenrod was out. Anjou pear, ceremonial gold. And then we go down to the bottom row. Rockwood amber and gallant gold were also included, or were they circle back, Lisa?
I have a circle back for ceremonial gold and gallant gold. Rockwood amber, I have a yes.
Okay, ceremonial gold was 4-1, so I circled that as a yes. And Rockwood amber was a yes, and gallant gold was a circle back. Okay, so I'm a yes. Anybody else?
For which one are we talking about now?
Gallant gold, bottom
I'm a
right.
yes.
Hang on.
Oh, we just got 3 yeses, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's
yeah.
fine. I would say no, but go ahead.
Wasn't that what we just did, though? If we're going with the majority agrees, then we shouldn't have to go over them again.
We didn't properly have it documented on the first page. That's why we're coming back and doing
Okay.
this. So we don't have to do that with all the other
If
pages.
there are 3 yeses, then they're good. If there are 3 nos, then they're not good.
Yes. So on page 32, yeah.
So Anjou pear is in.
Tell me where it is again. Yes. Yes,
and
it was a
Gallant
4.
gold is out.
Yes.
And-
No, gallant gold is in. Gallant
Thank
gold is
you.
in.
And ceremonial gold,
Approved.
thank you.
Okay, so we're going to the oranges and reds page. We start with individual white, so that's out because it was 2-3. Same with chase mauve. Polished concrete is in. It was 3-2. I'm only going on the split vote ones. Impressive ivory was in. Smoky salmon was 3-2. Rose tan is in. Rachel pink is out. Inventive orange out. Fame orange in. Sunset 4-1 in. Harvest gold in. Oak Creek 3-2 in. Cavern clay 4-1 in. Husky orange out. Red scent, I believe that was in. Yes. Carly's rose was 4-1. Emotional out. Antique red in. 4-1. Same with flower pot and Cajun red. Okay.
So Esther, Carly's rose is yes,
Yes, it was 4-1.
and flower pot Cajun red both yes.
Yes,
Oh, wait.
4-1.
Can we check the Carly's Rose?
Yeah,
one?
Carly's
Yes.
Rose, I have a no.
Yeah, that's.
Oh,
no.
good. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to do. Okay, let's do Carly's Rose. I'm a no.
That's a no.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
Can you, what did you get for smoky salmon?
Smoky
That was
salmon.
a circle back.
No. Right?
Where is it again, Lisa?
First one on the second row.
6331.
3-2, so it was a yes.
Okay,
Oh, it
thank
was,
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a no on mine. All righty.
Yeah, I think,
Yes. Okay, and I'm circling and making notes, which I'm happy to make sure we align. Yeah. Oh, well, it did go 3-2. All right, blues. Then we have Snowdrop 3-2 yes, Sky High 4-1 yes, Glimmer 3-2 yes, Kingston 4-1 yes, and yes to Blue Horizon. Bravo, Blue. Soar 4-1 yes, Balmy 4-1 yes, Icy 3-2 yes, Celestial 3-2 yes, Respite Inn. Unanimous. Regale Blue, no, 2-3. Searching Blue, same, out, 2-3. Pool House, 4-1 in. Bathe Blue, 2-3 out. Cloudless, 1-4 out. Little Boy Blue, in. Open Air, in. And if you have something that disagrees, of course, interrupt. Jetstream, yes. Raindrop, yes. Agua Fria 4-1 yes, Ebb Tide 3-2 yes. So we have a lot of blues. Yeah. And remember in Denmark, that was a sign of wealth. So we're going to look like a very wealthy community in the future.
Esther, Bravo Blue is in.
That was my, and let's see, where was that one again?
Second line.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, blue greens, next page. Rest Assured 4-1, yes. Powder blue, unanimous, yes. Bluebird Feather 3-2, yes. Aquitaine 4-1, yes. Gentle Aquamarine, no. Reflecting Pool, no, 2-3. Rivulet, I didn't get.
I have it as a no.
That's what I thought too. Okay, so it's a no on Rivulet. Cloudburst, no, 2-3. Lakeshore, yes. Cruising, no. Great Falls, yes, 3-2. Teal Stencil, yes, 3-2. Slow Green, yes. Quietude, yes. Festoon Aqua, yes. Fresh Eucalyptus, yes. Blue Sky, no, 1-4. Jocular Green, no. Easy Green, yes. Vegan, no. Mescaline Green, 3-2, yes. Persian Patina, yes. Julep, no. Okay, on to page 35. Jargon Jade, no. Grandview, yes, 4-1. Garden Grove, no. Kendall Green, yes, 4-1. Leapfrog, no. Inland, yes. Alexandrite, no, 1-4. Kilkenny, no. Paradise, no. And our final page, whites and grays, ultra white, yes, 3-2. High reflective white, no, 2-3. White snow, yes, 4-1. Green glimpse, yes. Rain song, yes. Solstice, 4-1, yes. Sea spray, yes, 4-1. Zircon, yes, 3-2. Argos, yes, 3-2. Samovar silver, yes, 3-2. Mineral deposit, no, 2-3. Unusual gray, no, 2-3. Utterly beige, yes. And Westchester gray, yes, 3-2.
Good job.
Okay. Whew. That's too much talking here. All right.
It really does help with the paint chips.
Yeah, I like the paint chips. It makes it much easier.
So thank you for getting through that.
staff, for preparing the paint
that
chips.
was
They're
really
radically different, and I spent a lot of time in the heat today. I had people stopping and talking to me. What are you doing? So I'm going from red to green to blue.
So-
Appreciate all of that.
So there's a couple next steps.
Thank you.
So the first is to compile this and include that in the handbook. What we're going to do is we'll take the approved or the colors that are be recommended for approval. We'll place it on our website and then start formulating and finishing off the handbook and then bring back a draft as soon as we're done so that we can take a look at that and go over that. So sort of the next steps that are on this project.
Thank you. Do we need a motion for this?
No, it is just direction to staff. And it's pretty clear. So
Okay.
We'll go from there.
All right. Yes, it seemed like that. Okay, then we're going to go on to item 4B, discussion and direction of potential sign ordinance amendment.
Esther, sorry, I should have jumped in sooner.
Yeah. Are we-
Are these colors also for trim? Or
These
is-
are only facade colors
Thank you.
here. Trim
Okay.
is another palette. Good question, and really good to clarify that. And speaking of which, when does the trim palette return?
In the future.
I guess we got to bring that back.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, 4B. Do we have?
Actually, did you open up to public comment?
Oh, I don't know if I did. I not. I was wondering about
don't
that.
recall if you did, and we have a hand up. So
Okay, all right. So I'm going to open up. I apologize for not doing this a little earlier on item 4A, discussion and direction of color palette and design handbook. Are there any public comments in the room? I don't see any. Anybody on Zoom? All right, well, we're going to go ahead and close public. Oh, do we see somebody there?
yes, Ms. Bott had her hand up.
Susan, did you want to speak on this item?
No, thought we were on the next one.
Yeah, okay, I thought so too. So we're going to go ahead and close public comment and close our discussion as we've concluded that on item 4A and then move on to 4B. Staff, can you please introduce that?
Discussion and direction on potential sign ordinance amendments.
Can we move forward?
Please, staff.
All right.
Please, yes.
So this is part two of our proposed ordinance amendments to the sign ordinance. So as sort of this reminder, these are not completed. These are in draft form. We're just receiving comments from the DRC. So just to sort of give a recap of where we're at, city staff received direction on proceeding with sign ordinance amendments on March 13th, 2025 from the city council. We did discuss at length at our June meeting the processing and temp signage. So we've elected at this point to bring it to two additional parts. You're seeing part 2 tonight, which is permanent signage. Part 3 will be the non-conforming sign section and definitions to sort of back that out. And then, so again, we'll take comments about things. I know last time we did this, we were making changes on the fly. So those will get reflected back out to both the Planning Commission and the City Council for the direction, but this is, again, our first stop. So just wanted to go over, again, what are the basis of our proposed amendments. It is streamlining regulations to make it easier for businesses to get signs approved. We went through the majority of that at our last meeting. The other one is to clarify regulations, create content neutral regulations, maintain our aesthetic quality, and then finally create a set of objective standards. So the next few slides are actually going to run through what the proposed permanent signage is. My recommendation is to go through them. And again, we could be a little looser here. Potentially go one by one, and then request for public comment on each one. And then we sort of have the notes from there, and then and any additional direction given to city staff.
I would like to take you up on that offer of one by one and take each item then as it comes along, starting with, I guess, the awning sign.
Right.
Okay, so we are going to now open up to public comment on item 4A, awning signs.
So, well, I can first
Oh, let me-
introduce it, and then,
Please.
yeah. So my suggestion is to introduce it, potentially have a discussion, if you have any clarifying questions, and then open it up to public comment.
Thank
So,
you.
all right. Kind of similar to the items, but again, we're breaking it down to each item. So the first one is an awning sign. So again, this is actually directly from our proposed code. It is a pretty substantial change from what our existing code is, which is it's very text heavy. Whereas this one, we tried to make it a lot least text heavy. One of the bigger changes are our current code has two differential sections for zones. We want to just combine them all to one, and then differentiate where we need to differentiate. So in this one, an awning sign, it's the zones that are allowed are up on the top. We are proposing a max letter height of 8 inches, max sign area of 1 square feet per 1 linear foot of awning canopy. The max height is to not be above the first story. Number of signs, 1 per business. And then each sign has what's called a special requirement. So again, these are things that are particular to these signs. So here we're requesting the minimum vertical clearance from the ground to be 8 feet. That's for consistency with the California Building Code. And then it may project into the city right away up to 5 feet with an issuance of an encroachment permit. And again, be very clear and concise. So if you're going to encroach this, then this is what is your requirement. And then the valance is actually limited to 50% of the maximum coverage. So the valance essentially is that middle portion. We want to make sure that whatever you're putting on that sign, which is this instance is the awning, is to be in that sort of balance of 50% cloth and then sign.
Raphael, I'd like to start by just having you clarify for us and for the public the acronyms and the zones allowed. So we've got the VMU, the Village Mixed Use. Will you continue from there just to make sure that everybody's on the same page with this?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So the VMU is Village Mixed Use. That's the mainly here in the village, what used to be known as TRC. CR is our commercial retail zone. That's actually the Nielsen Center and the Mercantile. And then the CH zone is, and the LI are for light industrial. So those are actually near the entry of town on the west side, essentially where the building materials is located at.
What's CH? That's the one I didn't know.
Commercial heavy.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And I think we only have one building on there. And then PO stands for office. So we have our office locations there, and then PI is the public institution.
Which includes city and...
City government and some other schools and other,
Yeah.
items that are quasi-public.
Thank you. I just thought it was important to clarify that. The other thing that it would be really helpful for me, because I've been doing this, and working with standards and regulations, can you tell us where the awning sign information that you're proposing deviates or aligns with the current standards?
So,
And do that as we continue with the others?
in this instance, the deviation is the 1 square foot per 1 linear foot of awning canopy. It actually clarifies what it actually is. Not above first story is also new, just to clarify. It's a clarifying point. The minimum vertical clearance has deviated from 7 to 8. And then the maximum projection is to 5 feet versus 4. And then limiting the valance, that's actually brand new, to bring balance to
Question
awning
on the
signs.
vertical clearance, is the minimum vertical clearance 8 feet to the awning or to the sign?
It's to the edge of, and that's that should be noted to go to the edge of the awning.
Of the awning?
Yeah.
The lowest
The
part
lowest
of the
part of the
awning
awning.
has to be a minimum of 8
8 feet,
feet up.
correct.
Yeah. Is there a reason that it can only have 50% of the awning? Help me understand the reason
Yeah,
for that.
there's a rhyme and reason to it. It's typically when you have, and again, the more you muddy it, we can just straight out eliminate it. So that way you can have letters across the entire awning, which again is no different, or you can control it. So you want to have a little bit of cloth showing rather than the entire span being taken up by a logo or letter heights.
Okay, well, and then I guess that was going to be my question too. I think right now all of the awnings are only letterings. They aren't logos that I see in town. Are there exceptions that I haven't noticed to that?
No, we've ditched it. We're
We've
allowing logos to be on there.
Okay,
Because again, this is trying to be content neutral.
okay.
We're just looking at the size.
All right. And does this count into their square footage of signage then?
Yes, it very much does. So if you look at the first, and if I back up, the first section of this
Yes.
is specific. So this one, if you look at subsection B, the maximum signage allowed per business or storefront in the village mixed use, the maximum signage zone allowed shall be 20 square feet, or 1 square feet per linear feet of building frontage, whichever
Okay.
is less.
Now, the one on C, it says other non-residential zones should be 1 linear square foot. I don't know what that means. 1 linear square foot
A
per
building,
frontage
a
street.
building frontage. So again, this is making a very easy calculation. For every linear square foot you have of building frontage, you get 1 square foot of sign.
So a linear square foot,
It actually just says linear.
Linear foot, sorry,
says-
linear
actually
foot.
just says linear foot.
Right, sorry.
Not linear square foot.
yeah, that's why was confused. Okay, it's just linear foot. All right.
Correct.
Then I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
I even Googled it and I was like, what is a linear square foot?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're looking at C.
Yeah, at C,
Yeah.
correct. I've had lots of questions for staff. Anybody else?
No.
Okay, with that, we're going to go ahead and now open this to public comment on item 4B, awning signs. It looks like we have somebody on Zoom. Susan,
Yes, can you hear me?
yeah, just hold on a second. We're going to get you, we're having a little technical thing on our end.
I was too. For a while it said I couldn't be heard, so.
Yeah, and we'll get, okay, we're getting closer here. I'll let you know when. Okay,
right.
go ahead. And we could have the volume up a little, please.
Okay, can I?
Okay. Susan,
may I-
turn your volume up as far as you can.
Okay, I don't know. I'll try. Is that better?
Go ahead.
Okay. You're louder, I can tell that. Okay. May I read my introduction since I did them all together? And
Okay,
then-
Susan, I'm sorry to interrupt you. We are having a hard time talking. It was recommended that you turn the video off and just go to audio, and that should help the transmission. Not that we don't like seeing you.
Okay. Is this better?
Talk slow and clear.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm Susan Bott, and I'm here representing the Save Our Stars Committee of We Watch. Our goal is to bring back and preserve a night sky full of stars we all can enjoy. Tonight, I'd like to address the proposed sign ordinance amendments regarding lighting. Solvang's Municipal Code number 11-11-3, exterior lighting, states that all exterior lighting shall be used to illuminate areas to provide nighttime safety and security while conserving energy, protecting the night sky, minimizing glare, and light trespass. It also says all exterior lighting fixtures shall be fully shielded, full cutoff, except in the interest of safety. Since all of the signage you are considering is exterior, obviously these rules apply to lighting of signs in Solvang. And on number 1, the awning sign, I agree that awning signs probably can't be illuminated because there really isn't anywhere to attach lighting. That's it for number 1.
Thank you, Susan. Okay. Then, input for staff in regards to awning signs. Is everybody comfortable with the 50% of the sign, or 50% of the awning maximum for a sign?
I am. I think that it reduces potential clutter.
Especially with the potential addition of logos and such.
Right.
Depends on what your name of your business is, so there are exceptions, right?
And I guess then they could come in front with the exception, but the idea is to make this consistent for all. So, and we could up it to 60%, if that,
Well, sure, because they wouldn't want to change their name,
right. And I guess maybe part of that is that, well, if you were utilizing 50% of it and you want your name to show up, perhaps you're not using your logo and your name.
Right.
It's going to maybe assist in that.
Yeah.
But I think of one that, like, the gathering table, that's a relatively long name. Of course, they still don't have their name on their awning, so but
But But yeah, they couldn't fit their logo too, right?
Right. So unless there's any, all right.
Do we want to maintain the 50% or do you want to
Yeah,
increase it?
I think there's not any, nobody's contesting anything there, and do you want us to make any motion, okay, so we're just, great. We like the awning signs, and then we're going to go on to directory signs. Staff, please introduce that.
All right, so directory signs. So in this one, directory signs actually replaces what was, I believe, menu board and chalkboard signs that were extremely specific to type of businesses, not content neutral. So we've just clarified it's a directory sign, and there are actually quite a substantial amount of changes here.
Can you point those changes out?
I
Thank
will,
you.
Yeah. So the max letter height remains the same at 8. The max letter height in all other zones remains the same at 10. The max sign area is actually increased to 6 square feet. There is now a max height that actually tells you as far as how tall it can go. Number of signs permitted is 1 per business. The biggest change here is special requirement D, only permitted to be affixed to a building. So currently, our sign ordinance allows for these things to be in potted plants that aren't affixed to anywhere. And for whatever reason, they decided that's okay to be on a structure. We do have quite a few of these. As I've said it before, that was probably written in because someone else got an exception to it, and then it just became the norm. But we just really need to ask ourselves, do we want it to be actually affixed to the building and permanent the way it should be? Because that's, not all potted plants are the same, and not all look the same, and not all are upkept the same. Whereas if you actually fix it to the building, you kind of know what you're going to get.
Yeah, there was a movement at one point to have a lot of wayfinding signs in potted plants.
Right.
yeah.
And I am a firm believer that our village is the way it is through design control. And this would be one of them, is to say, we made a mistake. And we're going to pull back. However, if you have what you got, as long as you're staying within the rules and regs, you're good. Just clarifying where it can be on the building, so it shall not be attached or placed within a shop front window. External illumination only, that's actually consistent with our code today. So essentially it would be a light shining down on a menu or other item that we don't specifically explicitly tell you what you can and can't do with it. Again, under the time, place, manner, material shall consist of metal or wood. Again, specifying the type of material we have. We don't want plastic. We don't want faux. We do metal or wood. Pick one. The maximum projection of the case glass shall be 6 inches. So this is a good one here. It's actually the projection out, so make sure it doesn't, it's not this huge monstrosity that's hanging out on the building. And then minimum clearance. So this one is done. Not only here do we have a max height, but we've also instituted a minimum clearance because, again, we want these elevated. And so if you want them elevated higher, then I would strongly suggest, making it higher. But at this point, 30 inches should be as low as you can go because no one likes to crouch down and look at things. But again, that gives deference to the business owner of where to place this.
I have another question or clarification maybe. Number of signs is 1 per business. What about a building with multiple businesses? Shouldn't it be 1 per building maybe?
So, we could modify it to be 1 per building. Again, that's one way of looking at it.
If it's a directory, aren't you trying to locate several businesses within a building?
Not necessarily, because remember,
Not necessarily,
a
but-
directory is now going to function as things. So we can add that as a clarifying to say if it is for a multi-tenant building, then 1 per building.
That's what,
Or 1 per, actually it should be rewritten 1 per public entry.
Right.
That would be the
that's
smart
that's
play.
what I would suggest.
Yeah, agreed. I also have, I'm a little challenged by the materials because I'm thinking about the directory signs that exist and that I see in town. Are you thinking of this as being, the picture here looks like a permanent sign that is not like a shadow box kind of where you open it up and change it? And if so,
It can be both.
okay, so this is covering both. because, I think a lot of these signs could very well be, as you call out elsewhere, the high-density urethane that has the look of wood, to be putting a directory on. Now, a menu, although we're not calling it out for what the function is, a menu display case would most likely be metal because that's what's commonly available. But to limit it to only wood or metal seems too limiting to me, especially considering there's very little that's utilizing wood anymore. They're utilizing materials that have an aesthetic of wood.
Well, we have separate regulations on the next page for outdoor display case signs.
Right, so that's where I'm confused here,
Oh,
why we should.
I apologize. I got confused. This is actually for a true directory sign. Mine. I apologize.
Okay.
The outdoor display. Yeah.
All right, so,
Jumped ahead of myself.
all right, so then let's go back. This is not a sign, this could be changed as the tenant changes.
That is correct.
But it's not going to be an enclosed case that you open and put your new menu
Correct.
in every Wednesday
Yes.
or something.
So the material should include the high
Density
Yeah.
urethane, medium
Yeah.
density overlay wood or similar wood-like material as opposed to metal.
Correct.
Okay. All right, then we're in alignment there. The maximum projection, you call it a case here. I think this should maybe say sign, and I don't think it needs to project 6 inches for this purpose. That actually seems like a really too big a projection if it's a wood.
The 6 inches.
Yeah, but if it's just a directory sign that looks like a wood board, are they 6 inches?
It allows for projections. It allows for popping of letters if you're going to.
Okay.
It allows for a little. I mean, again,
Okay. I'm okay with it. It just seems like a lot. But we should say maximum projection of sign, not case, right?
well, at this point, it just would be max projection of sign shall be 6 inches. And just
Okay.
leave it alone.
Good, because it's not a case.
Yeah.
Okay, then I also I absolutely agree with Rich as to the limitations on the placement and the number per building, not per business, because a directory is for a building, a multi-tenant building. And then a directory, generally, like you have pictured, has the big letters for directory, and then the other letters for the businesses can be 8 inches tall as well.
Right.
Although
So
it'd be hard to put very many.
that's
I got
kind of the point.
Yeah. Okay. And Susan's comment, I see her she's got her hand raised. We'll come to you in a second, Susan. So let's go ahead and open it to public comments. I think we've got a lot of staff questions answered. Anybody in the room? Come on up.
Yeah, Brian, 805 Signs. We make a few of the signs in town.
Thank you for hanging in there with us, Brian.
Yeah.
If we'd realized, we could have switched the order, but it was too late when we clicked in there.
That's
So
okay.
thank you for being here.
So I'm confused on that one. I think the picture's like the Copenhagen House's directory sign, and those are each 2 square feet. So, and then I think the whole thing's 3 foot by 7, if I remember what we did right. Are we looking at increasing the 2 square feet to 7 per business on a big directory, or the whole directory can only be 6 square feet? Or what are we looking at? I'm asking.
The whole director could be 6 square feet, but in hindsight, should probably be a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah, because you
It could be
fit
probably
many
8,
businesses
yeah.
other than like trophy placards. if it's only
Correct.
6
Yeah.
square
So
feet.
it should probably go to actually 10 to 12, give or take.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
if you want to reference.
if you want to
I mean,
reference, yeah.
There's some at that, I think it's the King Frederick across from Copenhagen House. Copenhagen House has some that are 3 by 7, 3 by 6, I think it was. So the 6 is overall, which might change. That's the size of the whole thing. And then individual tenants within that needs to be specified. I think, right?
I would like to see that. That's why I was asking about the height of the lettering for the individual tenants at that scale seemed excessive. And I also, we're a tall family, 6 feet could be higher in our world.
Well, if the sign itself is limited from 30 inches to 6 feet, that's only, 42 inches. If it's 2 feet wide, that's going to be 9 or 10 square feet right there.
If it occupies the entire allowable space.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm also looking at doing one at another big complex coming up, and there'll be 3 entrances. One sign will be up above on the facade where it's going to walk in, but they want to have, 9 businesses on there. And if it's up above and all these people inside the complex, they won't get exposure. So 2 square feet's great for the panel for each business, but if you have 10, we can work that out, and they could each be 1.5 feet. But the size of that backer for the directory has to be bigger. And I don't know if it's 32 square feet, 4 by 8, or if it's, 3 by 7, but something else would have to be bigger to accommodate a multi-use building.
And how
Well,
many are on the Copenhagen House?
well-
How many businesses?
I think they have 6 on 2 of them and 5 on the other.
Right, how many, and what are the inches on the letter?
I think those are like 8 inches by 36 inch, the panels. Yeah,
But,
so
the
letters are
actual,
like 5.
yeah,
Right.
and the height of it is certainly higher than 6 feet too, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah,
For sure.
and it's above 30 inches, but it wouldn't even look right
It would not.
if it was between those two,
And
limitations.
It starts at about 5 foot. And
Yes.
it's going up 80 inches or whatever.
And of course, it really depends on where this is being installed.
Right.
So, I was, like I said, we're a tall family, and a 6-foot sign, that's kind of low if you're looking down there and there's people around. It's more visible when it's higher up in many instances. In some cases, if it's not going to work. But I think of the multi-tenant buildings as being taller, bigger, because they're multi-tenant.
I think most businesses have gone from like the little trophy placard type directory that gets lost. We haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
It's usually the bigger style where they maximize that 2 square feet. Just to get that, you're back in the courtyard. How do I get exposure out front?
Yeah.
You know,
And so you're saying that right now it's kind of 2 square feet per tenant? Is
right
that?
now, there's no rule for how big the overall platform could be. You
Okay.
could put 22 square foot signs on the building.
Right.
Right, so
'Cause
we've always
each
tried to
tenant-
make it cleaner. Here's your carved HDU sign, and we're gonna put a metal placard on there that's, 8 inch by 36 or what have you. And they'll be organized, and each one, we're typically doing them just black and white, and the backers gray and white or whatever. So we don't do many colors on them, but try to
Yes.
keep it uniform. It's worked out well.
And there are ways that we can also add in limitations as to the color. We can't say what colors they use, but I think we can say, that it's limited if we wish to.
I would strongly urge not to.
Okay.
And for me, I would think if we come in to get an exception to do one of these bigger backers for all the directories, what are my findings? Because I know
Yes.
they're going to want findings, and I don't know what I would say. But I know that they work out well, what we've done so far.
Yeah, I think it has to do with the
Consider.
scale of placement.
Yeah, and this is on large buildings.
Yeah,
So
time, place, manner, right? Thank you for your input on that. We also have Susan. Susan, go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Okay,
And you can turn your camera on and just talk slow, and I think we'll be okay.
all right. I'm trying. It's not happening. I'm just going to go ahead. Can you hear me at all?
Yes, just speak slow.
Okay. On number 2, we want to see that directory signs with external illumination only have lights directed at the ground and are full cutoff. Perhaps your pictures could illustrate those? And that's it for that one.
Thank you. Making notes. Okay, so we're back to, okay, I see no other public comment on Zoom, so we're going to go ahead and close public comment on directory signs and come back to committee discussion. So I think we've already talked about the requirements, item G with the materials to change that. And now we kind of just need to talk about scale and placement, it sounds like a bit more here. Raphael, any comments, or anybody up here have comments on that?
So to comment on scale, I mean, so 6 was too small. It should go up, but as sort of a reminder that the point of this is to streamline approvals. If you have a unique center where you want to do something out the box, you're looking for an exception anyways. So, I mean, then you're taking on a criteria of a basis for basis, and then sort of as written currently, we are advocating that the multi-tenant buildings actually do a sign program. So that way they just do it just once. They come through us. And then we have a couple of those where once they've gotten the sign program approval, then it goes just to city staff for approval. But we're being very specific on what the signs need to look like, et cetera. So yes, it does need to be increased in size. We can review back and take a look at the directory signs. I know Brian mentioned, what are the findings for exceptions to sign regulations? We actually discussed that at our last meeting, and I'll just read them off, Brian, for you. It's that there are special circumstances applicable to the property, including size, shape, topography, location, surroundings, building placement, public access, or architectural styles that warrant the modified standards. The sign is in substantial compliance with any other applicable sign guidelines, handbook, and design district overlay. Sign's design is generally consistent with the goals and policies of the adopted community design element, and that the sign's design or proposed construction will not threaten the public health, safety, or welfare. So it's actually pretty condensed from what it used to be. And again, trying to really capture the essence of time, place, manner, and if there's really a specific reason for you wanting a bigger sign. So case in point, you have they want to go higher, they have 9, 10 tenants. Finding one right there, the building placement and public access. That's a pretty good one to make a justification of why you need a sign modification.
Okay, I'm still a little stuck on the letter height for the individual tenants under there, and I don't know if that can be
It's something we can just read. It sounds like you want those included, and we could take a look at some best practices and then come back again with the intention of you're going to try to capture about 90% of the businesses to fit in the box. The other 10% you may not capture.
Right, understood, absolutely. Thank you for going back to look at that. So we'll revisit that. Okay, any other comments on directory sign? Okay, so we're going to go on to 4B and number 3, freestanding signs.
Yeah, so freestanding signs replaces pole signs and ground-mounted signs. It kind of combos the two. So these are located, there is a change in zones. So this is also now elected to be located also in our open space zones and our park zones, because again, those are the type of signs we want. The max height within the village is 12, so that actually has increased. The max lettering height on all other zones also has increased to 18. The max sign area has also increased ever so slightly to 30. The max sign area outside is the same at 50. The max height remains the same at 6. However, it's measured from finish grade. It's clarifying where it's at. 1 per property. Under the special requirements, so under our current code, we do allow for pole signs. That's gone. So we are recommending we eliminate pole signs.
What's the definition of pole? If you look at the little picture there, that's got a singular support.
It's got a base, so it says it right there. Support base. Number D is your definition. Shall have a supporting base, constructed materials. A pole sign is literally a pole.
And I know what it is, but I mean, where's the pole?
It's one singular item that's either round or circle.
Is that what the picture shows?
No, it's not. The picture shows the base, constructed materials consistent with the primary building facade.
And
That's the goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want that. So you have articulation on that base versus a pole.
Again, I'm just trying for clarification.
Right. No worries. Again, again, really focusing on that base, and also to help define what is a singular pole is C, is the supporting base shall be at least 75% of the width of the sign face. Again, moving away from just either the two posts or the one pole. And really, and we have actually really good examples of some of signs here in town that are of this freestanding variety, that really strong base. So those are the changes to permanent signage in terms of freestanding signs.
Can you tell me what the max square feet for VMU is currently? You're saying 30 feet. What is it now? Is it 20?
I have to look it up.
And signs that kind of fit this that have been more recent, like Brecky's over by Mortenson's Bakery.
Yeah.
Those are, in the village area. Bent Olson, Solvang Inn and Cottages.
I was going to say.
Yeah, some kind of that come to mind for these kind of signs that are ground mounted.
The current frontage for a ground sign is for businesses with dominant frontage of, oh,
It's really,
not the
it's really weird.
frontage? Oh, 30 square feet.
Okay, all right, thank you, because I thought it was. That's why I was asking.
Sorry, I thought you were asking for frontage. Yeah,
Yeah.
30 square feet and maximum 6 feet, 6 inches height.
So
Okay.
that got lowered.
So I also want to kind of to revisit this at one per property, because that opens this up to a lot more ground signs, I believe, than is currently allowable, because currently my understanding, if I recollect correctly, is that it has to be a certain amount of lineal feet to be eligible for a ground sign. Because I think of some of the lots as being very small and not really being suitable for ground signs. Think of the little Ebelskiver who's next to the sausage garden. That would technically be eligible. I'm not sure if that would really have a spot, but what is the current,
You kind of just answered it.
The 50.
the 50? Because I would like to see some kind of standards for the minimum size eligible to have a ground sign.
You kind of answered your own question. It's
I
not
did.
all sites can do it.
Right.
That's it.
But I think right now it is limited because, in a positive way, because of that that kind of minimum standard to meet for lineal feet per property. And it's only one per property, even if you've got, 5 tenants or 5 storefronts on your property. Committee, anybody have any thoughts on that? Well, I'd love to see some consideration of that. Then item D, shall have a supporting base constructed of materials consistent with primary building facade. Is that standard terminology? I don't know. Compatible with, I don't know.
I don't want to use the word compatible.
Okay. It seems very open, but I also think that, is this a over-the-counter permit for something like this? It comes to the committee?
You've directed city staff this come to the committee.
Okay, because then I'm okay with it, because it'll ultimately come to this committee. Any other comments from committee? Should we move on to the next?
Do you want to open to public
Oh,
comment?
yes, I do. Anybody in the room? Please come on up. Brian?
Can we make it 32 instead of 30? 4x8 sheet of material, 32. It's always been 30, I don't know why. I can cut it down to 30, but I'm charging for 32. It's just a 4x8 sheet of material.
I'm
Sure.
comfortable with that. Appreciate you having comments like that.
Sign guy stuff.
Yeah.
6'6" was always the height, and we've always pushed it with anytime we've done a ground sign. So if we're going to come down to 6, you have a 4x8 sign that's only 2 feet off the ground, right? So to make it go down to 6 might be hard. I'd almost say make it 7, but, or leave it at 6'6". It used to be spaced between ground signs. I think it was 75 feet. And we've pushed that a little bit too, because sometimes 50 feet apart it'd be nice to have another one right there, but we always have to push it to 75. So I don't see that here. Anything that would be what you're saying, well, you need that 50 feet or 75 feet now between ground signs.
Right.
Including that linear building frontage has to be, 50 feet or more.
Yeah.
To put big sign bases on every sign would require concrete pads potentially and a build out of a structure. And we're saying that, well, Mortenson's Bakery with the 2 6x6 posts and the kringle on top, it looks like not good. Well, that's how most of these signs are made. So if we're going to switch that, they almost become where you are ordering a huge monument, coming in with a crane and setting it there. Right. Unless we build up to it, but, we're only 6 feet tall. So that really limits, especially in the sign maker community, who can even make one. So that would be a little bit of a challenge. Maybe say it has to be a 6x6 post, not a 4x4, because they look like a twig. Something to consider. But that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Going to continue with public comment. Susan, go ahead and unmute yourself.
The sign illustration under freestanding seems like it might need lighting. Or are you actually prohibiting illumination for this type? Just wondering.
Thank you, Susan. I'm going to go ahead and close public comment then. I think that is an important element that needs to be added. There is the lighting limitations or requirements, I guess we could say.
The lighting's already been reviewed as a part of 11.13.6, the last meeting. So just for clarification, the lighting standards would be lighting for signs shall not create hazard glare. Light source shall be shielded from view. Externally illuminated signs shall utilize focus light fixtures that are directed toward the sign. Internally illuminated signs have a standard of now are not allowed at the village, but they do have a lighting standard, shall be designed so that illumination does not exceed 10-foot candles, measured at a distance of 10 feet from the sign. And then again, internally illuminated signs are actually specifically prohibited in the village. And that was already covered, and
Thank you.
That's overarching for all the signage.
All right, thank you for clarifying. Knowing how this signage has worked in past years, I think it's really important that there be limitations as to the proliferation of ground signs. And although 6 feet isn't quite up to what it has been in the past, I think there's room to move it to 6'6". I don't think it should go any higher because it is a visual roadblock there wherever you have these signs. And that's, to me, another reason why their usage should be limited, both by the scale of the frontage where they're being placed and the frequency with which they can be placed.
So special requirements, actually, if you're reading it, freestanding signs are allowed in the VMU for properties with 3 tenants or more and with 50 linear feet of building frontage. So it's kind of already there. It's built in. We can eliminate the 3 or more. It should be 3 or more or 50 square feet. So that's allows for the hotels to have them and some other larger street frontage folks that have that ability to. So that should just be a grammatical change.
And then every 50 feet?
Every
every property that has 50 feet or more could have one?
My suggestion is that we take it back to city staff to review a distance between signs.
Thank you.
Simply because I would need to confer that from a traffic safety standpoint. So I'd rather confer that with my colleagues in Public Works.
Yeah, thank you, because I do think it needs to be considered. Team, based upon Brian's comments on max height, are you, knowing that the current is 6'6", are you comfortable moving that up, or do we want to stick with this, suggest sticking with 6 feet.
I think the 6'6", as it is now, is fine with me.
6, 6, and 7 is perfect.
You said 7 is what
Ideal.
ideal, right?
Seems like with I think you mentioned Solvang.
We're going to open it back up for public comment here.
It's free flow. So
Okay,
yeah.
good. We don't have to do, thank you, thank you.
I think Solvang Inn and Cottages you mentioned, they came through, what, 6 months ago? Didn't
Yeah.
they have to come down to 6'6"?
They did,
Yeah, and I think they were at 7.
Yeah.
So I think that's the only one, because usually we're okay at 6'6". I just thought about them. But,
Yeah.
you know.
So the other thing that people need to remember about the freestanding signs, and I found this as an oddity of our community, and trying to look at the revisions, is freestanding signs, you always need to remember who the audience actually is for the freestanding sign. It ain't your pedestrian.
no,
It's for vehicles. And so the actuality, I'm going to throw this out there, but I didn't want to, rock the boat. It should be 8. It sounds large, but the reality comes back to is 8 is kind of your good number, because then you can really articulate the base, and we can actually add in a caveat that we have a minimum base height standard. So whereas the minimum base height needs to be 2 feet, so you're still only getting the 6 feet of signage area, but you are elevating it to the actual user of the sign, which is a vehicle.
I'm opposed to that because of our small scale of our community. If we were bigger properties and such, I would.
And
be
again,
different.
I'm 100% with you, but
Yeah.
I still like it. What is the point of the monument sign?
Right.
The point is to not attract the person that's walking. It's to ensure the person that's driving can
Well-
see the sign. And I hate to say this, our population that lives here skews on the older side. And as we get older, our eyes start to fail us. Trust me, my son wills a baseball at me, and sometimes I totally misjudge the speed of that ball. Good for him. Again, it's trying. How do we serve this? Because at the same time, I don't want to brush the comment off at all, because it does affect our character. But at the same token, if we're already limiting who can actually utilize these, and these are bigger lots, then maybe it becomes, maybe we increase the frontage rather than 50, because 50 is kind of a standard lot at 50 feet wide. So maybe it becomes higher, and we can tier it too. We can do it based on performance standards. So if you have a wider lot, you can have a higher sign.
Right.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
think
bigger
of,
base.
again, the more recent signs, Brecky's, Chomp, Mortenson's, which just happen to be Peterson businesses, but all of those are actually pretty much oriented towards foot traffic. They're all, like this
foot
height. So I think that there's functions that differ. And of course, then there's the motel, or Royal Copenhagen Inn, Solvang Inn and Cottages, where it is geared toward the car going by. Do we want to ask if there's a way of revisiting this for a tiered approach?
I think the tiered approach is a good idea, based on the size of the property.
I still think of it as being visually obstructing the view on either side where this is placed, because it's a ground sign. It's not a pole sign in the air. And I think we have to be really careful of that, so that the bigger business isn't obscuring the smaller business next door or something.
Yeah, I think this has to think about like the Par C building as well, and Sanger. I mean, Sanger's is really tall, but we copied that to the Par C building, and I think we kept it at 6'6". But you have, I think, 5 or 6 businesses back there. So, and that's also a little bit above grade because of the planter. So I think we graded to the sidewalk that was up there. But if it comes down to 6, even that one has to shrink down. So consider those as well, because that's technically a ground sign and a directory. But
Yeah, but that did fit within 6'6".
6'6" doesn't
did.
really bother me, and as
Yeah.
far as, they're oriented towards traffic, but people aren't going through here at 70 miles an hour either in town. They're going at 25 miles an hour, and it's pretty, even for old guys like me, it's pretty easy to see them if they're 6'6". I don't think they need to be 8 feet in our downtown area.
Agreed. Thank you. I think I see a Susan back. Susan, would you like to come back on?
Okay, for which one? I already talked about number 3. Is
Okay,
that-
that's what we're still on. Okay,
Let's-
so we're
okay,
still
I
on
have-
3.
I don't
okay.
have anything else.
All right. So do you have clarity on that discussion?
I just want to get a consensus then. If we want to keep it at 6.5, just raise your hand.
Yeah, 6'6".
All right,
6'6"
all
is
right.
good.
That makes my life easier. But again, I thought I'd advocate a little bit just based on experience with sign codes in other municipalities. And again, it's a balancing act. And if a business really feels really strongly, they can ask for an exception.
Yeah, and I would like to talk about the supporting base for a second here, too. I do think whatever the size and scale, it should be consistent, we decided, with the primary building facade and complement that. The requirement of 75% in the picture shown gives a lot of weight to that sign, and it's kind of different from a lot of the ground signs. Can you reference one that kind of fits that?
I can redo the drawing and do it better.
Okay.
I really can. I can only do so many drawings.
Okay, because it just seems like it's almost too much.
Yeah, no, that's no worries. I can totally redo the drawing. I was really trying to make sure all the buildings had the Danish look.
Appreciate that. You did a good job.
So I
there.
focused on the buildings more so than the sign.
All right. Fix that sign for us.
I will
and help
fix
us
the sign.
understand,
I will
yeah,
make the note.
to make it, logical and functional.
Yeah, and it sounds like you've given me a couple of good examples to utilize. So I'll just go back in and
Well, and I'm not saying.
cheat sketch like I've
Okay,
done a lot
I'm
of
not
these.
100% sure those are good example as to the way they're grounded.
Well, and the other one, if we want to continue just very quickly with the base, because again, I'm a base person in terms of how it looks and functions. I think it means a lot to a sign. If you want, I know some municipalities require landscaping as a part of the base, and we
That's-
can
that's
to help
what-
soften it up.
Yeah.
So-
See, my idea would be put this in a planter that is surrounded by and must be maintained with something in the planter, which means nobody's going to run into the brick edge.
Yeah, so we
there.
can add that. I'll add that in. That
Good.
landscaping is required at the base, and the landscape is actually live plants.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, just because we need to make sure that, because it kind of, here's the thing is you have to remember that we have to counter our state standards, say that we have to plant drought tolerant plants. Well,
Yes.
some of these drought tolerant plants really clash against the base. So we'll figure it out, but we'll add that in.
Yeah, we don't want big spiky aloes, probably. That's not very welcoming, but then that would be defeating the purpose of a sign. I believe that we have concluded item 3. Is that correct? Okay. Number 4, introduction, please. Outdoor display case sign.
Okay, this is where I got ahead of myself, and I really apologize. So this is the outdoor display case sign that's replacing the menu boards, and I believe I want to say it was the chalkboard sign that was in here. Anyways, that's what it's replacing, or the chalkboard changeable menu. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So outdoor display case, again, village in our public zone here, parks, just in case. And we've actually included open space. So again, we don't know what the future is with our open spaces, if they will include signs like this. So we'll figure that out. This max sign area is only 4 square feet. Top sign shall not exceed 6 square feet. This is actually one per business. Again, this is because it's a display specifically for menu signs, etc. Again, the big change is only to be permitted affixed to a building. Shouldn't be on a short storefront, external illumination only. The metal or wood, the projection of 6 inches, and the minimum clearance of 30 inches. So I believe, and I apologize on staff's error, that we got the cases, directory and cases all switched up. So yeah, that's the menu case sign.
And the menu cases in the village mixed use area would be the same scale as allowed anywhere then?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and this meets that 4 square feet? I'm asking this because there's a kind of like pre-made, this kind of fits with.
That's where you're going off of, is when we started looking at what are the typical sizes. It was 3, okay, just go up to 4, and that way they can fit it in the 4 square
Right,
feet.
because there's nothing bigger.
Correct.
But they're all, because before it was like 2 or 3 inches beyond the max.
Right.
Okay.
And if we need to, we can clarify even further what that sign area should be measured. There is one where we actually just measured the actual words and the menu, and then the outside, like the actual case, the metal is excluded.
No, I think we need to count the actual exterior measurements
And
of the
that's
case.
why we kept it just at 4 square feet and
Yeah.
kept it kind of where it's at.
Yeah. I would like to have considered in here when it's metal in the VMU, it should be black to look like wrought iron instead of the silver. That would be my request. Can we do that?
Yes, it's a very specified color, very similar to our objective standards. Black hue is probably would be the better.
Yeah, that's acceptable, because that bronze kind of is, maybe common, but the metal in town overall is supposed to have the look of wrought iron, so that gives it a kind of richer look. Okay. And these are not freestanding signs, these are affixed to the building.
Right, these are affixed to the building, and again, as I mentioned earlier, and I got confused, apologies, I'm getting older.
It's late.
I'm just fine. It is, again, it is my professional opinion that we move away from the planners and these be affixed to the buildings. I understand why we did it, is to appease, it's cheaper, there may not be a placement, a certain business may be in a alcove and further back, so they want that menu up front. But the reality comes back to is there are other ways to attract people into a building in the exterior courtyards that aren't signs. And that's really up to the property owner to figure that out.
Yeah.
Can we also discuss these signs, whether the inside can be lighted or not lighted?
Yeah, it's already there.
Okay, perfect.
External illumination only.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you talking about like the interior of a storefront sign? Like
Yeah.
in the inside of the business?
Inside the case.
Oh, inside the
the
case.
case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inside the case at nice, because there are a couple of those downtown Solvang that have been there since the beginning of time that do light up at night to a certain time.
Right, so-
Inside the case.
Right. So this one says external illumination only.
Okay.
And that's what it is today. I would agree that the interior illumination is actually superior.
Yes.
And so if that wants to be a change, that I think, to me, that provides a cleaner look as well as help reduce the glare on the exterior. If it could
Correct.
be internal. Actually, if you flip it to internal illumination only, it would actually be
Way
way
better.
Right. as
I
opposed
agree.
To a sign.
Correct.
Gooseneck over.
Yes.
Okay, let's open it to public comment. Brian? Okay, Susan?
Yes, now that if you're changing it to inside the case, then I would agree as long as the light itself is not visible. It would need to be up underneath the edge of the frame.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
you.
and that's what they commonly are, so that the lights aren't visible, it's just the illumination is, but not the light. Do we also call out the intensity of the lighting in that instance?
Yeah, I would recommend if we go that route that we add a foot candle stipulation, very similar to what we did with the outside foot candles for larger signs outside the village, and it will be substantially reduced. But again, giving a standard versus saying it shouldn't be on the outside. Yeah, it's going to be on the outside, sorry. But
Yeah.
if we give it an actual standard, then we can measure that standard out to say, yes, it needs to not exceed 1 or 2 foot candles.
And I'd also like to talk about the warmth of the light. And I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, but not the harsh, bright white that you can see from way down the street as being the kind of aberration of light. Can we talk about what is that, kelvins, or I'm not,
Kelvin. I believe it's the Kelvin you're working at.
yeah, I think so too. Yeah, so like
yeah.
it's 3,000 or 3,200 or whatever and under.
LED.
They're usually
Well,
just
they're going to be LED.
Yeah,
white and a warm white.
So one needs to remember that we only have one code compliance person.
right.
And city staff only has so many hours. So
But I think
the
we
more
could-
you regulate out,
Yeah.
the better. It's actually easier just to simply state only to be illuminated during operating hours. So that way
Yes.
just make sure it goes off. While we could very well ask or I would stick to those basics because those are a lot easier than a Kelvin or a temperature, because again, some of these are pre-manufactured. They already come with the lighting already installed and the temp type. Much easier to just say, hey, only illuminated during your operating hours. Got to turn off when you close.
Or by 10 o'clock at night.
Did you hear that, Raphael?
yeah.
Yeah, so not necessarily, whichever is earlier.
You want to limit it at 10?
Illuminate it till 10 o'clock at night.
So if a business stays
closed.
open 11 o'clock,
So if
Well-
it's the Bruco, their light, their exterior menu turns off,
What time are they open till? 11?
I don't know.
and that's hence why
Past-
it's
past my
possible.
going out time.
I was just sort of going off of the Solvang shuts down at 10 or whatever.
It does.
You
And
know,
then,
but-
you know, when you have a date night with the wife and you will do stuff before and then you want to go do a
Yeah.
9:30,
Have a late
10.
drink.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. That's
Of
what we're almost
course,
getting
right,
at.
right. I would not want to limit it. Or why don't we just do like by 2 o'clock in the morning, they have to be
Yeah.
off.
and that's
Operating
why
hours.
and that's
Yeah.
why we want to go with operating hours because
Yeah.
again, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, I think we are ready to move on to end. Does anybody need a break? Do we want to just kind of power through here? Because it's going to take a while longer.
Power through.
Okay? All right, we're powering through. Number 5, permanent window lettering.
All right. Sorry, I'm trying to make notes in the working file. So, all right. So again, permanent window lettering. This is your standard fare, village mixed use over at our shopping centers, over down at the builder Nielsen's Building Materials. So pretty much every commercial, 8 inches in the VMU, 10 inches outside. One that has added is shall not exceed 20%, 25% of window area. So basically what it is basically our old one divided up against windows. At this point, we just want to treat the entire window, whether it has a pane or not, as one whole window, but only 25%. Not above a first story. And again, do we want window signs to be above second story? Someone looks up. And then one per business or tenant. Limited to lettering and graphics. Again, just being super objective. That's it. And then regular maintenance shall be required to maintain quality and appearance. That's actually new. So
It's really important,
Yeah.
too.
because again, window letters are a cheaper way of doing things, but there are certain techniques. I'm sure Brian does them that that make them look really good. We can add additional maintenance items to make them really look spick and span, but at this point, I think that's pretty generalized.
And the current max letter height for window letters, is that addressed?
That's the same.
Current
That's-
okay, so there's no change?
Yeah.
Do we need to specify what type of lettering? Can they be vinyl? Do they have to be painted? Do they have whatever?
It's up to you as the committee. Again, this is one of those things where our old code talks about the colors, talks about the fonts. I strongly advocate do not do that.
Yeah.
Really let that be up to the business
Not the
owner.
material, though. The material isn't specified.
We can specify. Oh, sorry. We could specify vinyl only.
I think that it's going to, my concern is that things change as to the materials faster than the regulations. And case in point, it used to be that all the signs had to be wood. Well, nobody wants a wood sign that you have to replace after it rots. So I worry about specifying that. But do we also want graphics on the windows? Right now, all the lettering is only lettering that's on windows. It doesn't include logos and letters. And
It doesn't?
Graphics, I mean.
graphics of, candy or stuffed animals or Danish flags, or I could go on.
You can. Again, we're already limiting time, place, and manner of what your sign is. I feel that
It's content.
yeah, that starts to be a little bit of content, but it really, as a business owner, having that ability to put a graphic of what they have, it's really up to the business owner to determine how to draw that customer in. And if it's a beautifully done graphic, why not?
And again, this counts into their square footage of maximum allowable
It sure
signage.
does.
Which I don't think it's done consistently in the past.
No,
been
it's
a bonus.
This ordinance changes that you have, per linear square feet or 20. Once we figure out that number, you pick and choose. So if you got your blade sign and your wall sign and you got 2 square feet left, well, that's all you got left. So you pick and choose. That means if you want a smaller wall sign, so be it, to have a bigger letter and graphic or
Okay.
a logo on your window.
All right. Thank you for clarifying that.
I think I would like to open up the max height in terms of not above the first story. And my thoughts are going straight over to Frederick's Court, where when you're facing Mission Drive and or Alisal, for instance, there was an attorney upstairs, and he probably could have just put on the window, right, his name, attorney at law, and that probably would have been, as people were driving or walking, they could see it and kind of know where he's at. So perhaps certain buildings, like Frederick's Court.
So it would be if there is a tenant-occupied space above the first story that it would be eligible, not
Correct.
not in a building that has a second-story window
Correct.
to advertise the first floor business.
Correct.
Talking about like where the Chamber of Commerce is.
Yes,
in that
and where
area.
my office is, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
There was a bridal store that was facing Mission Drive, that she probably could have utilized that.
Okay.
So I'd like to open that up a little bit more.
There's a logic to that seems very fair. Everybody okay? All right.
It's fine by me.
Public comment on this item. Come on up. We're going to have Brian, and then we'll see if Susan has a comment.
Painted windows, we're replacing all that painted stuff, taking pictures and recreating it and doing vinyl. And like the offices here on the doors. So vinyl's kind of what we do now. The painters, there's still a few, but it's kind of dying off. So yeah, vinyl's kind of what it is. And we can make it look like paint if we need to. I have to go, but I wanted to bring up HDU, wood, MDO for signs is cool. Don't forget acrylic letters. A lot of the time when it's a letter, we do acrylic. And it's like a plastic, right? It kind of looks like metal. You wouldn't tell if it's painted matte satin black or something. Aluminum letter is going to look just like an acrylic letter. So think Good Seed Coffee, think Leo's Cafe. We've inlaid acrylic into these signs that are carved HDU. Also think maybe aluminum. Sometimes we'll make aluminum look like Corten, so it looks like rust. And we'll cut letters out of it and put it on a sign. So just different ways to manufacture these. I've noticed half-inch thick letters throughout. Half-inch thick is really big on a small sign. So we usually carve our HDU signs about 1/4 inch. Anybody that still sandblast signs, they're only like 1/8 of an inch 0.2 inch. But we usually carve our wood grain about a quarter of an inch on a 7 square foot sign. Mortensen's Bakery, those are, I think, half inch. We went deeper. When I do channel letters, they're 4 inch, right? But anything that's 12 square feet, half inch is too thick. It's too deep of a shadow. It's too hard to read, right? So consider maybe quarter inch minimum, and then you can still get the guys that sand carve into wood if they want.
And it can also be in a letters that are affixed.
Yeah. So usually when we fix letters, they're 3/8.
Yeah,
Or
that's
thicker
what I
because
thought.
you need 3/8 to pin stud mount. So those are 3/8.
They stay there.
If you're sticking on a wall in here, it might be a quarter inch letter with no studs in it. It's just adhesive. So, but quarter inch is a good way to go for a dimensional sign.
Okay, all right,
So, but thank you for your time.
all right. Thank you, Brian.
Appreciate all that information.
Okay. Thanks for sticking in this and hanging in there. Susan?
Yes, we agree that this doesn't need lighting, so no comment really.
Okay, great. Any other comments on permanent window lettering? Okay. then
So I
we-
just want to revisit,
Yes.
the committee is okay with revising the not above first story to modify to allow a window lettering on second floor and above if it is commercially occupied by a tenant. Or-
Yes.
Yeah, occupied by a commercial tenant.
Correct.
Thank you.
In the space that is occupied by a commercial, like for their business in that space. That's like way too many words, but you know what I mean. Okay, so I think then we're going on to number 6,
Yeah,
projecting signs.
Yeah, this was a tough one because
Yes.
we don't have many of these, but we
Well,
do allow them.
Yes, that was my question, where they exist, so please.
So this is actually allowed in our code. We don't. I think some, and I think it's the terminology that was utilized. But we really don't have projecting signs. The question is, do we even want this sign type here?
Yes.
That was my thought, not in the VMU anyway. It's kind of,
And so, anyways, the max letter height at 12, max sign height, it did increase to 18 square feet or 1 per linear square foot, whichever's less. The above finished grade also increased from 15 to 18, 1 per public street frontage, that's the same. May encroach up to 4 feet within the right of way, that is the same. Shall be perpendicular to the wall, also at a 45-degree angle, those are also the same. The minimum vertical clearance, that's been increased to 8. And then the metal thickness, if you're using it at 1/2 inch. So again, the sign type doesn't exist, but it could in theory. I'm actually kind of surprised some buildings don't take advantage of it. I know why others don't take advantage of it because it just completely clashes with their architectural design. But again, we don't see many of these here.
should I open to public comment? Or questions of staff first? Anybody have questions of staff on this one?
This is in the current allowable code, Rafael?
Yes, it is.
Okay, let's go ahead
Kind
and
of agree with Esther that I don't think we need them at all.
let's open it to public comment, and then we'll have discussion up here. So Susan, comments on projecting signs?
Actually, I put the last 3 together because I was surprised to not see lighting, and I think they probably all need lighting, which goes kind of against Save Our Stars, but just to be fair. And examples of these, or some of them, are currently visible in Solvang along Alisal Road between Mission Drive and the post office.
Yes.
And having lived in Solvang for many years, I've noticed the increase in foot traffic by tourists after dark. And I'm sure most merchants will want to light up their signs even if their shops are not open in the evenings. Thanks for your consideration and attention to our potentially beautiful night skies. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Susan. Thanks, too, for hanging in there. Okay, so public, or committee discussion. I saw this and I couldn't figure out why it was here. It does remind me of historic photos of Solvang when there used to be a movie theater and a bowling alley, and they had signs like this and the inn, but I would like to see it removed at least as far as the village area, and the only other area that it pertains to are public buildings. So, I'd like to see it removed altogether.
As I mentioned earlier, I agree. I don't think we need them. I think it'd be really out of place if you picture any one of the corners on Copenhagen and Alisal, for instance,
Yeah.
having an 18-foot tall sign hanging out from the building. I don't think we need them.
Well, and it just kind of adds visual clutter to our already very, visually stimulating environment.
There you go.
Committee?
Exclude it just from the village then,
Yeah, well, and I think it just should be excluded.
completely.
Is there a need for this on city public buildings?
Maybe. I doubt it. though.
I think
My suggestion is if you're going to exclude it, I mean, we could take it all completely, but then eventually someone might come back and want to do it. Obviously, they can get a special exemption.
Right.
We could move it to signs to special consideration. Then that requires an actual, I believe it requires actually going to planning commission for approval and goes to you first. And so it has to go through these layers.
Right. I would be averse to that because it opens up the, it opens up the suggestion that this is a approved method
Right.
of sign.
And again, I'm okay with eliminating completely because again, when I went through this, trying to find each, this one was like, why do we have this? And even then, this makes no sense because it isn't a true projecting sign.
Yeah.
Because it is actually, and I correct myself, it's 7 square feet, so it actually doubles that sign area. Because this is what you see depicted on the screen. It is truly a projecting sign. That's what most, and they belong in larger cities and everything. So if you want it gone, we make it
You
gone.
okay?
Yeah,
Okay,
totally.
X, because I've always in the past, a projecting sign has been a suspended blade sign, which is number 7.
Which is
So-
number 7. Okay, so that will be wholesale ditched.
And
S-
Susan, I
second.
see your hand up, but do you still want to speak more, or are you?
No, my mistake. I just took
Okay.
it down.
All right, yeah, nice to see you. Okay, suspended blade sign, please.
Yeah, so again, this nomenclature has changed. It's called hanging or under canopy sign. Suspended or blade sign is actually what the good practice is, so we're renaming this. It is in the village and all of our commercial zones. The lettering height is the same in the village. However, it did get bigger outside the village. It went from 10 to, that's the same outside the village. It's 12. We did modify the max height. So it just said first story. Now it's lower than the sills of the second story, and that's to really try to accommodate Frederick's Court, which has them kind of out there. So the sills is actually pretty good location for that. So we did make that change. The biggest change on here is the special requirements, is the minimum vertical clearance 8 feet. Some of our suspended and hanging signs are actually down to like 6.5.
I know.
I can touch them out. Yeah.
My son's 6'7". and
Yeah, I
it's
can touch quite a few on my walk, just putting my hands up. And so again, it's really important that we have a minimum of 8. That's just building code right there.
Yeah.
And so will that require modification? Yes, 100%. Plus, I hate to say it, we never know what people will do when they're on something, or if they're just mean-spirited and want to damage a sign.
prank.
It's pretty easy to do. We talked a little bit, I know Brian did, about the logos and depth. A 1/2-inch projection, again, that's new. That's generating based on this committee's discussion to have projection in those signs. We do have a few that don't project, that are in town, but over the last 3-4 years, this committee's been really advocating projection of the sign. So why don't we just make it a standard? I would actually concur with Brian's comments about dropping it down to a 1/4 inch. He's the expert. I defer to him. So.
Yeah. And it makes sense because you think about a 1/2 inch in a small sign, and all of a sudden it's, yeah, he's right.
Again, utilizing the material, HUD, MDO, wood, or similar like here, we could add aluminum and some of the others he's discussed. I don't recommend that, again, because if we're trying to stay true to the wood faux wood look of a Danish village, this should probably it. That's simply because this is probably the most prominent sign type in the community.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
The village mixed-use area, absolutely. How does that aluminum, how would it potentially fit in other zones?
The only real zone that we're looking at would be Nielsen's. And again, I mean, while they have a couple of them here and there, do you want them to be tight? Do you want it to be a little bit more? It's up to y'all. I mean, it's easier just to have one unified
I'm fine with that.
and
Quick
call it
question too on the height.
Yeah.
Lower than the sills, is that the sign itself or the support? If you look at your picture
Good
there,
question.
the supporting,
It would be the sign itself. So the support can go, the support can go.
Support up
So,
whatever
right,
you
the
want.
support can be higher, and that's what we're trying to advocate is where that actual sign is. Yeah. And we can let me add that clarification that it's top of sign, so, yeah.
Can I also open the discussion a little bit? For instance, two things I want to say. Number one, in the bit of Denmark, in the alleyway, she has a gorgeous iron, decorative iron, both on top, both on the bottom, where a wood sign hangs of her restaurant. And it has an illumination that's pointed towards the sign. So, with that said, is that a possibility for people to do that? Rather than, while I know this type of sign is the majority through the town, there are some that are still hanging on the buildings that are not being utilized. But when I traveled to Europe, her sign was so, it's beautiful with decorative iron. Can we talk about that? Can we put that in? Is that an option for people? Because it is beautiful.
It would seem like that could be an option as long as nothing
fit.
was lower than 8 feet.
Right.
From the ground.
Yeah,
She has a bar on the bottom as well as the top. The sign hangs and connects to both,
that would be
Yeah.
fine.
and it's decorative.
Yeah, what is in here is, let me see that. Yeah, that's fine. I don't see an issue there. Is that
Let's
it?
see.
Yeah, there's one of them, but it's actually in the back. That's in the front. If you go towards her bathroom, or you go down, it's right above. Ooh, no,
Too far.
no.
Too far.
Too far.
Oh, that's an old picture.
Yeah. Oh, right, keep going, right, you're right there, right there. She should have it hanging
I don't think
right
it's-
there. Let me show you.
Is
Yes.
it in there?
So. It's older. I see the lights.
And
I
it's
see them.
older.
Yeah, I see them.
But it's beautiful because the iron art is decorative.
So-
Can that be an option for people?
Illumination is fine as long as you meet the standards of down
I think
pointed.
she's talking about a sign holder being top and bottom. And
And also decorative.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
As a matter of
That-
fact, we could add a caveat under special requirements that the brackets are decorative.
It would be so
It'd be
charming.
Really nice. And black wrought iron look.
Yes. It was so charming traveling through Germany or anywhere, and everything is decorative, including the lights. They make they make them decorative, if you will. They make them part of the sign, kind of. That makes sense.
I wanted to comment on number D, the minimum separation between the blade signs. I'm very pleased to see that that stays in there. I thought it was funny that it says shall be perpendicular, but yeah, I guess we want to make that clear. It's not a tilting sign. I do think that this picture is misleading because it appears that the placement of the sign is right there by the window, and that doesn't seem right.
It's not. It's to articulate the sign.
Right.
We can turn it most likely. Then that means I'll just have to.
Yeah, can you
return
just
this.
move that? Because
Yeah.
I don't know if we need to put anything in the requirements about the placement and a window and, edge of the building. I don't know if that's necessary. Is anything like that in use now, Raphael?
In terms of
Like where on the building you can put it other than they can't be placed at high frequency?
no, I mean, yeah, that's not there.
Does it need to be? I don't know.
I don't think so because again, some of our buildings are pretty low slung anyways,
Right.
so some of them might be really hard to meet the 8. Again, that's where the next DRC session where we talk about non-conforming signs, that's where that
Right.
really comes into play.
So I guess just make the picture so it doesn't look like it's right by the window. Don't give the idea that that's okay. And Brian, I believe he mentioned one other type of material. Did he was, oh, acrylic for the lettering.
Yeah, for sure.
And I guess we could say acrylic letters, acrylic maybe used only for lettering, or do we just not?
Yeah, I'm just not.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was, and I know that some of them are, and nobody's going, I don't know. I think not.
Yeah, and you mentioned the minimum separation. That's
Yes.
actually new. That's not.
Oh,
even
that
in our-
is new?
That's not even in our code.
Oh, I thought we had something
No,
to that
that is-
extent.
that is
Okay,
brand new.
excellent to have that.
Forgot to
Yeah,
mention that. That
because
is,
some businesses use their signage to do the projecting or the whatever you call 'em, the suspended blade sign, and they are more they're more
they're closer
close to
together. They
space.
bunch up. So
Yeah.
yeah, we have a couple of them where they're really close in proximity. So again, we just want to separate
Yes.
them out.
Good.
And that helps to reduce the color in an objective manner.
right. Okay.
I have a question for Raphael. What about the birdhouses on the front of Rasmussen's?
Those aren't signs.
I like them.
Bring it up in committee comments at the end.
Okay.
So
they aren't
what do you mean by,
Well, are
We'll
they-
come back
yeah,
to it.
thanks.
are they a sign or?
No.
Okay.
We'll come back.
All right.
Let's see, number 8, wall sign.
All right, so permanent wall signs. So again, here there is a change on the wall signs. The bigger change on these is the size of the wall signs. So again, allowed in all zones. The letter height has changed. It's 8 inches is what it is currently. We're upping it up to 12 inches or 1 foot. The max letter height in all other zones is 24. That has also changed. That was 18. The sign area, again, that has also changed. It's capped right now at 7 square feet. It's actually been increased to up to 15, but again, it's based on linear square footage. So the bigger the storefront, you're still going to get capped, but the smaller the storefront automatically lowers your wall sign. And then the max height is top of sign is 15 feet above grade. That's just clarifying where it can be located at. That doesn't exist in our code. Neither does max height in other zones, 20 feet above grade. Again, 1 per public street frontage. That is a change as well. So if you have a corner building, technically you could have 2 wall signs on each corner because it's each street frontage. And then just trying to define what is business frontage is linear feet of owned or leased space. Located at, if we're going to have wall signs, they need to be located below the top of the parapet or the roof line on a single-story building, or below the second floor still on a multi-story building. Again, wall signs placed between windows, giving it an actual, can't be 2/3 of the height of the window or a major architectural detail. So again, we want to accentuate the windows and make sure the wall sign fits where it needs to go. Ensuring letters or logos have a minimum depth. That sounds like that's going to get changed as well.
1/4 inch.
Right, and then the materials that are permitted in is, again, consistency. So do you want to have the acrylic? This is a good question, is do you want to allow the acrylic outside the VMU? We most certainly can, but it's easier just to manage if everything's across the board the same.
Yeah. I'd like to back up to a couple questions. Business frontage, are we talking building, or are we talking business? Because I see building up above a max sign area, and I see business down here.
So again, business frontage is just the business
Right.
frontage. The building height never changes, so that's why you have 2 differentials between the 2.
Okay. That seems like a big change in the VMU from 8 inches to 12 inches height. So, it's a 50% increase, as is the amount of square footage which is currently, tell me again?
It currently caps at 7 no matter what. So if you have a building with a very large frontage, you only get 7.
Right.
That's it.
Which was an example where we just gave the exception to California, whatever that was. Okay, but did I understand you to say that this is based on the amount of
Right.
lineal feet? So this is an equation that we don't see here?
It pretty much is. So 1 square foot per linear foot of business or building frontage. So again, you're looking at most business frontage could be only 15 feet. That's all they got if they chopped up a building. So the max they can get is 15 square feet. If
That's really small, though, too.
it is, but again, our current wall sign says 7. So that's the max they can go.
But if they're 80 feet, then they can
Still only
have
go
a
15. They
maximum
still
of
only go 15.
15.
That's right. And again, you need to remember that the max overall per business is still capped at 20. So they have
20
to
square
feet. So they got to pick and choose. So while it's a big jump, it's the pick and choose. Do you want a suspended sign? Do you want to put all your marbles in that? Do you want to go all your marbles in a wall sign, or do you reduce the size of the wall sign and reduce your suspended sign and add some lettering to get to 20?
I'm really happy to see that because I think there's some businesses that just have too many signs. And this does limit it. It seems like a lot, but when it's based upon maximum square footage, and this is lineal feet, that's going to add up very fast.
Pretty much. And again, we've already capped right at the beginning. If you're 20 square feet, now it becomes, how do you as a business owner
Right.
want to dole that out?
Do you want it on your window? Do you want it on a long sign? Do you want it on a projecting sign? Do you want it?
Right.
Yeah.
That is the business's control.
Okay, I'd like to go back to that 12-inch letter height. That seems really big to me for the majority of places where a wall sign would be installed.
And again, it's not a directory. It's
Right.
not it's a wall sign. So
Yeah.
doesn't mean
So it's
doesn't mean you have to go 12.
Bigger, yeah,
doesn't
but that's very
That's
big.
just the max it
Yeah.
can go. So again, if you're putting all your marbles into the wall sign, I'm going to go big or go home.
Well, it's
And-
going to look like that sign.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going in all in my wall sign because darn it, that's going to make me more money as my wall sign. So I'm going to go all in. It's a jump, but now we've excluded this sign and we've excluded this sign. So the total sign, because that's the way our code reads right now. We've excluded lettering sign, we've excluded your hanging sign, but we'll give you all the marbles for a wall sign and for projecting, and just let them figure it out. But give them the box to figure it out. And again, if the box has too small to begin with, we can up the box.
So are you all comfortable with that jump from 8 to 12?
Yes, yeah, I am.
Okay, I will concede to the majority. Okay,
All right.
special consideration signs.
All right. So,
Excuse myself, too.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Like I
oh,
said,
no
I have
worries.
the microphone. I got to excuse myself. I'm late already.
Okay.
Well, and we've had quite a long time here, so,
And we're about to wrap it up pretty quick
yeah.
here. So,
yes.
all right.
Okay.
The next section is special consideration signs.
Thank you, Rich.
So at our last meeting, we had a brief discussion about murals. And we had one little sentence in there that said murals are excluded from the sign ordinance. And based on the committee direction, you didn't want to go in that direction. Fine by me. But instead, what we've done and we've crafted is a whole exemption section for murals. And that's, again, reflected in your report. So if you meet the criteria of a mural, you are exempt. You'll still need to fill out an application and be reviewed as a part of council direction, we're going to recommend no fee on it, again, because we're just looking to make sure you check all the boxes. And art being so subjective, we just don't want to go there. So, give me a minute.
Okay, so I'm the one who asked that this came back, and I did have a lengthy discussion with Sarah York Rubin. She's the head of the Santa Barbara County Office of Public Arts and Culture. City of Santa Barbara is currently looking at mural ordinances and has assembled quite an amass of information about this. And I would very much like to bring this back for another meeting. I do have, and can I pass out information that for future consideration?
We actually looked at their stuff.
Okay,
Their
this
stuff.
is-
We very much did.
Recommended process and requirements for permitting murals. And here is also a private property acknowledging that content can't be regulated. This is comparing, or rather not comparing, listing the bodies that review murals and how it's done in LA, Ventura, San Diego, San Luis Obispo, San Francisco counties, the city of LA, the city of San Francisco, and Stanislaus County. All of those have it go through a body for approval rather than over the counter. And some of the important elements to consider, bear with me while I find my scribble notes here, are potentially noticing neighbors of this coming in and allowing a period for feedback, which often really does help if there's any content that might not be as broadly viewed as positive, that permits have a maximum period, that all murals have an anti-graffiti finish, which isn't varnish, it's a special finish, so if you spray paint, you can rub it off. It defines what a mural is, gives size limitations and placement limitations, so it's like it's not over a doorway or an exit sign in the middle of it. And murals as pieces of art do come with artist rights, like all other art. So it needs to be sure that those are, it's called a vera and a kappa laws that apply to it, and that it is a one-of-a-kind original artwork as opposed to something mass-produced, that it can't be vinyl, that there are different materials that can be used, and ideally it is actually on some material that is affixed to the wall rather than directly on the wall. Tile is also really popular and sometimes beautifully done. There's also ways of staying neutral but prohibiting it in specific areas. And when I think of Solvang, I think of Copenhagen Drive as really not being an optimal area for a mural because you need a large wall space. And I, could be wrong on that, but the potential for disallowing it in spaces, which again stays neutral, and potentially limiting the amount of square feet that could be a mural. So there's a lot more in definitions and information here that I'll pass out to everybody afterwards for review and consideration. And there's links to all the different cities for their policy sources that are everything from the Department of Cultural Affairs for the city of LA reviews them. Of course, they've got a few more projects going on. Public Art Commission does so in Ventura. In San Diego, it's going to planning and it's treated as signage. San Luis Obispo, it goes to the planning department, but they have a specific public art jury. LA County has a Department of Arts and Culture. Stanislaus County has a planning department. It actually goes to the Parks Commission because they don't have design like we do. San Francisco, again, it goes to Arts Commission through the planning department. So I guess that's my really long way of saying that I really feel strongly that murals aren't an over-the-counter permit and that there are very specific requirements, everything from materials to scale to art acknowledging the artist's right and finishes. Anybody have any comments on that?
We're a department of two.
Understood. And that's why.
And so this is why what we've cut is as not necessarily basic, but at least as minimal as possible to somewhat regulate it, but at the same time stay out of the First Amendment issues, stay out of,
Absolutely.
if you look at it, the purpose, or we define the mural. Murals are considered a one-of-a-kind artwork of visual art, including hand-painted, hand-tiled, digitally printed images affixed to or painted directly on the exterior of a wall or other permanent exterior surfaces of a structure that contains no commercial message. We've defined it.
Yes, which is good.
We've exempt it because, again, while I understand each message, and we don't have many of these installations, and if you mention Copenhagen's not the best, yeah, it's not. It needs a large blank wall. Again, some of our areas are already naturally gravitate that it's impossible to do. It's pretty, for a small municipality, we have it works based on our size. It asks for an application, make sure it contains no commercial message, located on an exterior wall, lighting directly prevented, it asks for safety, shall not be covered on windows, doors, or other openings. Maintenance needs to, property owner shall maintain the mural in good standing, free of graffiti, peeling paint, excessive fading, etc. We look, City of LA is a model of that. We looked at that. We looked at Santa Barbara's and San Luis, but a lot of those communities all have separate committees to do those. They are much larger communities.
Understood. But I
We're
think
just
that's-
trying to at least set up the regulatory framework that it's actually there versus not having anything at all, which is what it is today.
I understand all that. And I think it's really important that there still be addressed the finish, the graffiti finish, and it's very commonly available and easy to do. That the lifespan, it shouldn't be a forever permit. It needs to be limited, and I really do think we need to give a little more thought to some of these other elements. And I ask that we bring it back with just a little more beefed up
So
here.
I would suggest just removing it without the sign ordinance. Just
I disagree
I
with that.
I think anybody that can help us out obviously would be Lompoc. Lompoc is our most mural-ish,
Yeah.
friendly community.
yeah.
And obviously they've done it in the right manner and it's all positive and so,
Right, and they have a committee. They
And they-
have a
right?
committee.
Yeah.
So
and there's an actual painting committee, I know,
Yeah.
that go
Yeah.
out and paint these murals.
And they've identified locations that are very specific for that purpose. And I don't anticipate that is something we're going to go do and identify, because that you really can't do. You can exclude it in an area, you can include it in an area, but you can't say it can be this building or that building. You can, you can give size and placement, but I really think that there are some more, it needs to be beefed up some more, and it does need to stay in there. I'm happy to see it there. So I don't want you to have it go. I don't think it would take that much work, but why do you think it should not come in front of this body?
I just think public art shouldn't be up for debate. That's just end of story. You wade into too many.
But it's not-
and this is my PTSD of fighting a board on what is art.
I don't anticipate that, though.
Oh, this is just my lessons learned, my war wounds. I think
Well, we can't-
Dave came through the same one.
Well, we recognize that if it's on city property, then
No,
you
but
can
this
do
is
all
but this
that.
isn't
If it's
about
on
city property. This is
private property-
regulating private property.
Well, there's definitely First Amendment that comes into signage and
and that's
content as well.
that's what this is doing, is to allow it to be on private property.
Right.
And the minute this comes to a board, you are asking it to go sideways. You are inviting it to go sideways.
Well, then it needs to have
And at the same
more.
token, the planning director has the discretion to always elevate it to this body if it needs to. That's
I
already built.
appreciate.
That's already built into the code.
So I think, but it's really important that there be a little bit more beef to it before it goes over the counter. Yeah, even as simple as the graffiti finish, that's really, and that, the artist's rights, these are things that are super,
The artist rights get their right no matter. They'll
Yeah.
get the right no matter what. But however, sometimes there are things that are best left alone, and that just get over-regulated to the point that no one wants to do them.
right.
And so that's my counters. We are a small community. We don't have many blank facades. Actually already have a quasi mural that's up in a private space that's not public visible. It's up now. That's unregulated.
Well, that was going to be my question as well. Is this pertaining to exclusively locations that are within the public's visual corridor or whatever you want to call it?
Public space. I
Yeah.
mean, yes and no. Right now it's just written that it's in the public view shed.
There, that was the
So
word
I
I'm
mean,
looking
again,
for.
because if it's in a private, it's within an enclosed building.
Right.
Have at it. I don't
Right.
want to go there.
And if it's on the back wall of something that's front facing, and there's another, we don't want to. We don't want to go there.
But again, right now we have zero regulations. So I don't want to hold up the sign ordinance.
I don't think we need
For-
to. I think that
I'll be happy to take a look at it, but I know specifically this got crafted specifically from Santa Barbara's regs, LA's regs, and a little bit of Lompoc to try to fit our community of what we have today and not encumber something to go to a public meeting and to do a public notice and to argue about art.
And what people visualize art is.
we can't go there. Yeah, we can't go there.
Very subjective.
Well, I think things like must be placed on, that, okay, property owners required to maintain in good condition, free of vandalism. We've got that in a shorter way. I think it's really important for that a specialized anti-graffiti coating must be applied to the mural and maintained for the life of it. Varnish, other coatings or finishes that are not specifically designed for graffiti abatement products as part of the graffiti removal system do not comply. And this, like I said, it's a super accessible, and artists know that.
We'll take it, and that's we can add to it. But again, that's just my recommendation to simplify it as much as possible and try to avoid the public process as long as it just fits the time, place, manner. And again, we can affix a size to it too, and that we can come back and make sure it's sized properly.
Yeah.
We can tinker with that, but we don't have the committee set up to do this. It brings out the worst in people.
Yeah, well, I would disagree because I think we do have a committee set up as a design.
Well, as in those
Oh, an art
ordinances have
committee.
separate
I
subset
totally
committees that
understand.
totally.
Yeah.
That's
and
what
this
they
is
do.
also a rarity. Often it is also limited as to how many murals a business can have. I'm not sure how to proceed with that because we think of the one business that did have murals in downtown Solvang was former Rasmussen's that had 3 murals. So we don't really want to necessarily limit it, but yeah, that's what I'm wondering is, should this be limited to 1 mural per business?
We most certainly can. We can write that in.
I would suggest that. And then if there's an exception that somebody comes in with an awesome project that is a 3-part project, a 2-part project, then it comes for discussion and exemptions can be allowed. I also do think it's really important that this permit not be forever.
Well, they're not. I mean, I don't.
A 5-year limitation on a permit for something like this because it requires a review and they have to come in at least show that they're maintained.
Now you're running into amortization. Again,
Don't want to do it, huh?
No. It's just if you maintain it, that's fine. And if you don't, hey, we'll send you a letter and either restore it or take it off.
Right.
I mean, it's
That or the new business owner that takes over will paint over it.
right. Yeah. I mean, these aren't encroachment permits where they last forever. I mean, that's the other thing too. They're I hate to say this. Usually, most of them are temporary. They'll stay for a good chunk of time.
Well, and I think not being vinyl is really important to include in there too. So it's not like a shiny vinyl thing. It's, it's a one-of-a-kind piece that is an artwork. It's interesting too, because I do like they put, for definition purposes, a commercial message is any text, image, logo, or other visual communication that advertises or references a business conducted, services rendered, commercial enterprise, or goods produced or sold on or off the premises. It's being very specific about commercial. I kind of like that.
Yeah, we can. That's for sure. I would want to run by legal because I did see that same definition. And
Yeah.
again, I sometimes when I see that, it's like pause for the cause. But yeah, I did see that on the new one, and we can add it in and have legal take a look at it.
They also have the information about the artist rights here. And I know you don't want to go there, but that is an important part of artwork. Okay, we're at 7:30. Thank you for listening to my information about murals. It is a big undertaking, and I realize that that's not so applicable now, but I really feel like we need to have that in place. Raphael, are there other highlights here that we need to continue with your special consideration?
Yeah, just so really quick, the changeable copy signs, again, mimicking freestanding signs. If you don't know what a changeable copy sign is, there's an example right in front of the screen. So we do, I don't think we might have one or two here in town.
Well, your city sign over by
Yes.
that's hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be one.
Yeah.
So again, we just transferred the standards over. Then moving on to residential identification signs. That's just a new section. It doesn't exist actually, believe it or not. It's really weird. We've actually approved a couple of them through some, I don't know, don't ask questions. So, but it's actually cutting real sign. Umbrella signs that kept over. Wayfinding signage, again, that's a new section to allow for consistency in signage in private parking lots. That's something that would have to come before this board and then get approved through an overall sign plan. So the rules are a little bit less honorary, but again, that's because it needs to go through complete vetting. And then one that got dropped off that will make a reappearance is the kiosk sign. I don't know why that didn't get included, but I saw that earlier. I was like, oh, this needs to be brought. So that
Did
needs
we
to be
do A-frames already? We did.
Yes,
didn't
the
we?
A-frame. Yeah, the A-frames are already there. So
Quick question on umbrellas. I don't know if it goes in here, but I believe that umbrellas are regulated in color, or at least that they just need to be one solid color. That's somewhere, right?
yes, I believe. If not, we'll make sure they bring it back.
Okay.
So yeah.
Please, yeah.
So again, tonight's meeting, provide comments, provide directions, modifications, ask questions, which you've done. Thank you. Thank you for sparring on murals. We'll bring some of those things back. And again, we'll ultimately in the end, we'll package this back up to both Planning Commission and City Council for ultimate direction. And so that concludes part 2. And you will now get part 3 next month, which is non-conforming signage. So how we tie all these things together, especially with, and so that's kind of the most important thing, and definitions, kind of just defining what things are. So should be a little bit faster.
Okay, so
concludes
we
it.
go to committee member comments.
I have a comment.
Member Bates.
So, as Emily Latella would say, what's up with those birdhouses? How did they get approved? So my issue is that they're inconsistent with the facade. They're not found anywhere else. What is the messaging behind them? Like how do they relate to the front of the old Rasmussen's building? Were they previously approved? If I want to put dog houses up, can I put dog houses up? I mean,
That's actually, so there's actually more than just Rasmussens. They're pretty much everywhere.
Well, okay, so to start with, there's birdhouses that are around town that were masking a
Right.
audio system that was used throughout the downtown area,
My-
Copenhagen and Alice.
My father built those.
Okay, yes.
So she's the
Did.
expert here.
Yeah. So the majority of those have been removed, and I think that at the old Rasmussen's building, that one of them was placed back there when the painting happened, and then it
Yeah.
just grew.
Blossom.
Right, but there's like 4 of them along the front of the building.
So we've got a very specific design element that comes into play.
It's not a building permit. It's not,
So it's okay to decorate the outside of your building
it's no permits required. There's
and
nothing.
paint the
there's
chimney,
There's
which I
nothing.
think is kind of
love-
cool.
There's, there's
yeah.
nothing in our code
I love it.
that.
I have to
allowed it.
say, I was right out. My sister actually noticed it, but we were walking along in front of Rasmussen's, and she was the one who noticed it. And she goes, "Can you hear the new little birds?" There were birds using those bird houses. It was great. It was just great. It was just a nice thing. Yeah.
Well, and I
Yeah.
love birds. I love things
Yeah.
with wings, but
They're
I just
they're
feel
not
like-
ugly or anything.
no, I just feel like it's just design clutter. It's just,
Yes.
to me, it's just one more thing that is, slapped on the side of a building because,
Nobody says you can't.
right?
Yeah, it's sorry. There's no permit requirement. I'm sure there was a permit requirement to connect all of them at one time. I'm sure we didn't
but
do a
these
permit.
These
Oh,
are
yeah,
just
they're
decorative.
decades
They're
old.
not, I mean, these are the,
Well, I can look at the code and get back to you, but
yeah.
from
I
my
just- I
knowledge,
just fear proliferation of everyone's personal taste, and on fronts of businesses.
right? So
Yeah. It is perhaps charming in one location, but the idea of it being applied in each location is the concern, I think,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
how to be friendly to the business owner, the building owner, the visitor, the resident, and yet not become a clutter of
right.
of visual distractions. And I think we've really gone into a lot of that tonight when we looked at signage,
Right.
and how to pare that down. So you've got comments from us. Anybody else have other comments on things?
I have another comment or
Great.
question. What is the follow-up from last meeting with all the changes that we asked on the village?
I'll get in that in my director's report.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
All right, so city staff? Oh,
Nope, that was what my
okay.
question was.
Yeah, I think we all have that. And could I just make one comment first? I was not at the last meeting, and I wanted to tell Rich, I appreciated him delivering my message to all of you and your careful and thoughtful consideration, comments, review. I also wanted to compliment Raphael and Lisa on preparing a package that addressed some very deep concerns. And I think first and foremost in all of our minds is the adherence to approved plans and how that process broke here. And on that note, we'll turn it over to city staff comments.
All right. So you do have a meeting next month. We'll talk more signs. We may, don't know yet, have the inklings of your design handbook. If not, you'll get it in October. And then we do have, what, couple signs? One? Okay. So you do have a meeting next month. As for the outcome of 1704 mission, I took into your comments and considerations, and wrote out a director's determination, basically confirming most of what we discussed. I did meet the applicant out on site prior to the director determination being issued, and made sure that it was known that some of the colors could be selected, but they would need to come to us first, and then could be approved based on a quick paint sample of what it would look like. City staff issued that out, and it was subsequently appealed. So we do actually have an appeal hearing for the Planning Commission meeting. So the Planning Commission on September 2nd will be the appeal body for the director's determination. And in addition to that, the applicant is requesting a plan amendment for site plan modifications. So that's just going to go to the Planning Commission because they are the actual body to amend that. So the applicant has made modifications to their site plan and landscaping, reducing landscaping, adding more brickwork and other flat work, which has sort of reverberated into their plans, and as such, which is why you haven't seen anybody working there over the last week and a half. So, so currently, no work is to be completed on site until we kind of work through some of these issues that are ongoing. We are ramping up on a couple we actually have quite a few building permit applications in the hopper right now. Particularly the Denmarket Square, you saw a big piece of plywood that's covering that corner. That's actually under building permit revisions now for a new business coming into that location. So that's ongoing, and then we have quite a few other building permits that were going in process. We did receive an application for 1697 or 1637 Alsol. 1697, yeah. So proposed conversion of offices to residential units upstairs. So we'll be processing that out. That's actually now in city staff review.
Where is that at?
The lavender shop up
Oh.
above. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So upstairs above in the
Correct.
Rasmussen's
Yes.
yardage and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're application for conversion into residential units. And I have the only other update I have is for Site C, Wildwood, that did go to Superior Court. The Superior Court found in favor of the city, and so the lawsuit was subsequently dismissed. So at this point, the developer has asked for a pause in the project. We have paused as the developer weighs their options on how to move forward. And that will conclude my update.
Raphael, do you have a request at a future meeting? Sorry for not doing this at the right time. The major projects that, we kind of just rubber stamp and consent agenda each time. This new body has never really gone over that. It'd be nice to have the opportunity to have a little discussion and maybe pull that from consent at a near future meeting.
Yeah, you're free to pull that at consent. We're always ready to discuss that. And that actually got pretty updated this go around with things. So
I noticed, yeah. Yeah. So it would be good, I think that next time, depending upon the load of work,
Yeah.
that I may request that, just because I think it really helps.
Approved prior to us starting.
Yes.
Yeah.
the Process.
So yeah, so so the list at the very back is what we're working on, but the very front is what's been approved and what's under construction. The middle is what we're reviewing. So quite a few projects popped up on that review list, and we've been pretty busy. Big kudos to Lisa and Madison and Cole Phillips and Public Works and Jose as their Acosta and Utilities. That consists of our design review team, and so we've started to actually be a pretty cohesive team on getting these out reviewed and getting comments back to people and trying these in a timely manner. So that
Yeah.
happens behind the scenes and no one really
Yeah, I think
says
that
the
would
thing.
be good.
Raphael, I had a question. What is Site C?
Site C is Wildwood. Sorry. The project known as
Yeah.
Wildwood. So
Yeah.
I call
Alamo
it Site C.
Pintado.
Yeah, Alamo Pintado.
Next meeting, we'll be doing the next step in the sign ordinance.
That is correct. Yes, step 3.
Should we anticipate that it's going to be an extended process? What can we expect? I don't know.
It would be a lot shorter because, again, the biggest section is the non-conforming sign section, and it actually is kind of short. And then it's definitions. So if you actually have a question about definition, just let us know.
I guess my
So-
request would be, if there's any way that we can receive that, the sooner we get it, the more time there is to review it for us. And I know that, you can only post an agenda at a certain point, but is it possible that some of that might be able to be viewed a little earlier than the agenda?
At this point, we don't have,
It's not ready?
It's not ready yet.
Yeah.
So we've really just taken it sections. What happened was the first time around, we took section 1, I digested it, made the changes that needed to get made. So now that's kind of set. And then we're to take this, make changes. Now that's set. And then we'll do part 3, which was, again, a much smaller section. It is really smaller. So
Okay.
it's pretty digestible.
Just kind of trying to get a handle on what we need to prepare, because to come in here, we want to be prepared.
These were the two meatiest ones, was last month's and this month's. This one
Okay.
will be actually kind of more similar to what you did tonight, which was great, by the way. We really appreciated it.
Yeah, yes, no, yes, so we got that done. Thank you. I think that let's adjourn the meeting at 7:47.